Thank you, Sal, and thank you, everybody listening in. My task tonight is very simple. I'm just going to simply show people that the 12 tribes chart that is promoted by most Hebrew Israelites is simply a fabrication. It is a speculation at best. It claims to know the particular locations of the 12 tribes of Israel, and even with close examination of the chart itself, it contains discrepancies as far as like who they consider to be the 12 tribes. But what I want to do is dwell on something that a lot of Hebrew Israelites are not going to dwell on, and what that is who entered into the covenant. Because if you ask any Hebrew Israelite who was the covenant made with, they're going to say,
yeah, Brother Josh called this drop. Let me just stop this timer for a second. Hold on. Brother Josh, if you out there, call back in to call this drop. All right, so I just paused the time right now. Once again, the number is 877-280-9681. Once again, it's a high volume of callers out here, so sometimes we have a little bit of technical difficulties, but I see the brother is back. Hold on for a second. All right, Brother Josh, you back, brother?
yeah, I'm good. It may be the connection. I don't know, but I'll keep coming back if I keep hanging up.
All right, you got it, brother. I'll put the timer back on. Go ahead.
All right. And as I was saying, a lot of these people are promoting this chart as authentic truth. But the key to understanding the identity or the inability to identify specifically who's an Israelite by blood is simply to understand that, number one, more than Israel entered into the covenant. Because what they're trying to tell you is that only Israel entered into the covenant of the Most High. And that is false. Only Israel entered into the covenant as a nation, but you had individual non-Hebrew Israelites who were there that entered into the covenant when it was first given. And these were non-Hebrews, and it's right here in the Bible, and Hebrew Israelites, particularly racist ones, choose to either ignore this or they're completely ignorant of it. So what we're going to do first is start it off in Deuteronomy 29 and verse 1. And it says, these are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. So obviously it's saying right here that the covenant was made with the children of Israel. But what many people don't understand is that the children of Israel is a term given to the whole nation and not necessarily just the physical descendants of Israel. And I'm going to show you that. Now you skip down to verse 9, and it says, keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that you may prosper in all that ye do. Now who was here entering into the covenant? Verse 10, ye stand this day, all of you, before the Lord your God, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Israel. Nobody will argue that this is only talking about Hebrew Israelites right here. No doubt. Let's move on. Your little ones, your wives, and listen to this, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water. These strangers is referring to non-Hebrew Israelites. So why did they say the hewer of thy wood and the drawer of thy water? Because that was the job of the stranger. They did a lot of manual labor. They were like servants or slaves for the most point, but not in slavery as we understand it today, to the children of Israel. That's why I said the hewers of the wood to the drawer of thy water. But notice he said all of these people are entering into the covenant, and he included the non-Hebrew. So sisters and brothers, from day one, we had non-Hebrew Israelites living among Israel. And at this time in history, the neighboring nations surrounding Israel who entered into the covenant with them were nations of color or black people. And I'm pretty sure every Hebrew Israelite will agree with that. So you had black people other than Israel who entered into the covenant with Israel when it was first given. Once again, this is something that you will never hear from a Hebrew Israelite camp, especially the racist ones. So already we see from the very beginning that Israel had non-Hebrew Israelites living among them that also entered into the covenant. But it gets interesting when you keep reading. Look what it says right here, verse 12. That thou shouldest enter into the covenant with the Lord thy God and into his oath. So we see that the non-Hebrews also enter into the oath of the covenant with the God of Israel. This is another thing you will never hear from these Hebrew Israelite camps, because they want to make you believe that only Israel entered into the covenant. Some of them will tell you that strangers took hold of the covenant later and entered into it, but they're not going to tell you that from day one that strangers entered into the covenant. Very few of them will do it, very few. But the majority will tell you that God only made the covenant with Israel alone, or nobody else entered into the covenant but Israel. But listen to this, verse 13, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself. Notice it said that he may establish you to a people unto himself. So that includes the stranger. The stranger was in the covenant, and they were considered a people to the Most High. AHLAZAR will completely ignore this, or he will try to make you believe that the stranger here is somehow referring to an extended branch of Israel, or, blood Hebrew Israelites. But the truth is obvious, sisters and brothers. The stranger here is referring to non-Hebrews, and we're going to see that as we continue on, right? But now what we're going to do is we're going to skip down to verse 17 and see what happened to anybody who entered into this covenant and decided they wanted to break it. We'll read the verses 17 to 21. Look what it says right here. And ye have seen their abominations about the nation of Egypt and the other nations, and you have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe. Now, who is he talking to? Everybody who just entered the covenant, which we know included the stranger. Look what he says. Whose heart turns away this day from the Lord our God to go and serve the gods of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that bear gall and wormwood. Look what the penalty is. And it come to pass, when he hears the words of this curse, who? Everybody that entered into the covenant, including the stranger, that he blessed himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart to add drunkenness to thirst. Verse 20. The Lord will not spare him. Will not spare who? Anybody who entered this covenant, which again included the non-Hebrew, which we read, because they was there with them. It says, the Lord will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man. And all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven. What curses, sisters and brothers? The curses that you read about in Deuteronomy 28. Because the first thing the Hebrew Israelites would do is take you to these curses as a sure way to identify Israel. But Deuteronomy 29, the very next chapter, tells you that non-Hebrews enter into this covenant as well. And it says that if they broke the oath of the covenant, the curses would come upon them too. So it's not enough to try to use the curses, to try to say, this makes you Israel. Because if non-Hebrews entered into the covenant and they were also black and they broke the covenant along with Israel, they got the curses too. So I don't want to hear anything about the curses identify who Israel is only, because the scriptures do not agree with that. The scriptures tell you that the curses identify anybody, Hebrew or not, that entered into the covenant with the Most High and broke it. So you could have been a Canaanite and entered into the covenant, or an Egyptian, any nation of color, and broke it and got the curses, and you would have been a black person who was cursed. So you can't make that be a blood Hebrew Israelite just because you got the curses. That's the first misconception that a lot of these Hebrew Israelites try to put out there, right? But we're going to continue reading. Verse 21. And the Lord shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law, which are the curses you read about mostly in Deuteronomy 28. And those curses include included captivity and losing your identity. Anybody who entered the covenant got the curses if they broke the covenant, sisters and brothers, not just Hebrew Israelites. So you can't use the curses to try to identify Israel only, because you could also be identifying somebody who entered the covenant as a non-Hebrew and broke it and got the curses too. But they will never tell you this. AHLAZAR will not tell you this. He's going to avoid this like the plague, or he's going to try to tell you, those strangers, those were not foreigners, those were just Hebrew Israelites. Really, at this time in history, when Israel first came out of Egypt, nobody had been scattered yet, so nobody could leave and come back with the identity as stranger. But let's move on. This is also in the book of Joshua. We're going to Joshua chapter 8 and verses 30 through 35. Joshua chapter 8 and verses 30 through 35. Listen to this. Then Joshua built an altar unto the Lord God of Israel in Mount Ebal, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of whole stones, over which no man have lifted up any iron. And they offered thereon burnt offerings unto the Lord and sacrificed peace offerings. Let's see who all was there. And he wrote thereupon the stones a copy of the law of Moses, which he wrote in the presence of the children of Israel. Who was there? And all Israel and their elders and officers and their judges stood on this side the ark. So you guys saw them standing on this side of the ark of the covenant. And on that side before the priests, the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord. Who else? As well the stranger as he that was born among them. So the stranger was standing out there among them, just like the people who were born among them. Who's the stranger, sisters and brothers? Non-Hebrew Israelites. They were always there, sisters and brothers, and they were always present at the reading of the law and the entering of the covenant. It's just being repeated right here in Joshua after Moses died. Look what it says. Half of them over against Mount Gerizim and half of them over against Mount Ebal, because we're going to read where he told some tribes to give a blessing for Mount Gerizim and some more tribes to give a curse for Mount Ebal. It says, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, have commanded before, that they should bless the people of Israel. We're going to read about the curses too. And afterward, he read all the words of the law, the blessings and cursings, according to all that is written in the book of the law. Sisters and brothers, use some common sense. Why did they read the blessings and the cursings to everybody there, which included the non-Hebrews? Because they wanted them to know what you would receive if you kept the covenant and what you would receive if you broke it. The stranger was there too. And if you read your Bible closely enough, you will know that the stranger at times almost outnumbered the natural population of the Hebrew Israelites. At times. They almost outnumbered Israel. So you had a lot of non-Hebrew Israelites that entered into the covenant. So if a lot of Hebrew Israelites entered into the covenant and the whole nation went into captivity when they broke it, then how can AHLAZAR or anybody else jump up today and say that they are a Hebrew Israelite by blood because of some curses and being black, let alone identify which specific tribe they're from, when the curses came upon a lot of people who weren't even Hebrew Israelites? This is one of the best kept secrets among the Hebrew Israelites, sisters and brothers. They don't want you to know this because this takes so much away from what they teach. But we're going to continue. Look what else it says right here. And after he read all the words of the law, verse 35, there was not a word of all that Moses commanded, which Joshua read not before all the congregation of Israel, with the women and the little ones and the stranger that were conversant among them, which means who was living among them. Again, showing you that the stranger entered into the covenant too. The covenant was not just made with Hebrew Israelites. It was only made with Israel as a nation, but among that nation were thousands upon thousands upon thousands of non-Hebrews who also entered into the covenant with the Most High. But now let's move on. Let's go to Deuteronomy 27 and let's see what it says. This is Deuteronomy 27, and we're going to read verse 10 to 14. Look what it says right here, because we're going to read the same thing that happened in Joshua. This is when it was commanded. Deuteronomy 27, 10 to 14. Look what it says. Thou shalt therefore obey the voice of the Lord thy God, and do his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day. And Moses charged the people the same day, saying, Ye shall stand upon Mount Gerizim to bless the people when ye are come over the Jordan. Simeon and Levi and Judah and Issachar and Joseph and Benjamin, they are standing.
Okay, once again, Brother Josh, the call just dropped. Let's call back in. I'm pausing your time. Once again, the number is 877-280-9681. Like I said, it's a high volume of callers right now listening to this particular debate. It's the 12-tribe chart authentic. And I see a lot of people already pressing the number 1 right now, ready to ask some questions. But stand by. During the public Q&A will be the time for you guys to, ask your questions. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in order and, take your questions. All right, let me look for Brother Josh once again. Hold on. All right, Brother Josh, I got you, my brother. I got you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's you or me, but I'm just going to keep coming back.
Yeah, good. Yeah, brother. Mm-hmm.
All right, and this is verse 13. And these shall stand upon Mount Ebal to curse Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. So they're going to stand and curse. Verse 14. And the Levite shall speak and say unto all the men of Israel with a loud voice. And if you keep reading it, it talks about curse if you do this, curse if you do that. But verse 26 sums it all up. And it says, Cursed be he that confirmeth not all the words of this law to do them, and all the people shall say amen. What curse or curses, sisters and brothers, in Deuteronomy 28? So who would receive the curses if they broke the covenant? Israel and all the strangers that entered into the covenant with them. What color were the strangers who were living among Israel at that time in history? Black, just like Israel. And even AHLAZAR will confirm this. So all of these people were black. They all entered into the covenant, and they all were cursed when they broke it, and they all went into captivity. So how can anybody today jump up and say, I know I'm a Hebrew Israelite because they black and they got some curses, when you had non-Hebrew Israelites that were black and were cursed too? How do you know you're not descendant of one of the strangers that entered into the covenant and broke it? How do you know? You don't know. No Hebrew Israelite knows. They just tell you what they believe, what they feel, but they don't really know. I'm only dealing with what I can actually prove, not what I strongly believe, which is what you're going to get for AHLAZAR tonight, strong belief. But let's move on. We're going to go to Antiquities in Josephus, and I'm going to show you that by the time of the New Testament, you had even more strangers who had did this. Right now we're going to Antiquities 13.9.1. 13.9.1, this is paragraph 257 to 259. And we're going to read about Edom being forced to enter into the covenant, though they gladly received it. This is right here. We're reading about John Hyrcanus. He was the son of Simon or Simeon the Maccabee. So he was one of the family of the Maccabees. This is the Hebrew Israelite you're reading about. John Hyrcanus. Look what it says. Hyrcanus took also Dora and Marissa, cities of Idumea, and subdued all the Idumeans. These are Edomites, Esau, sisters and brothers, and permitted them to stay in that country if they would circumcise their genitals and make use of the laws of the Jews. So they had to enter into the covenant. That's what it means. You had to enter into the covenant because the law was the covenant, right? And look what it says. And they submitted to the use of circumcision and the rest of the Jewish ways of living, in which time, therefore, this befell them. They were hereafter no other than Jews. Sisters and brothers, by the time of the New Testament, when Jesus Christ and the apostles were walking the earth, you had Edomites living among Israel, conquered and forced to enter into the covenant, which they gladly did, because they always envied the Hebrew Israelites and the covenant God made with them. So that means when Israel went into captivity in 70 A.D., some Edomites went with them. Because if you expect people to believe that the conquerors came and singled out the non-Hebrews and only took the Hebrews into captivity, you're foolish. They're like right now, if the Middle East were to conquer America, or they just going to let some people go, or they going to conquer everybody. They hate America. They don't hate white America. They hate America, period. If they send a nuclear bomb over here, they're not trying to spare anybody. If they conquer us, they're trying to enslave everybody. So, sisters and brothers, for now, I just wanted you to see that more than Israel entered into the covenant, which means more than Israel received the curse. And also these other people living among them were also black just like them, which means non-Hebrew Israelites were cursed and black and went into captivity, which means you can't jump up today and say for sure you are a descendant of a Hebrew Israelite just because you're black and cursed. That's it for now.
All right. Now, what Josh just did was an atrocious show, ladies and gentlemen, and it really insults everybody's intelligence who's out there listening, who actually expects to believe this. What Josh and like-minded people as him love to do is take this strangers thing and run from it. Again, they love to go into Hebrew when it assists them in proving their point, but when it hurts them in proving their point, they don't like going into the Hebrew. Now, when you go into the Hebrew, there are 3 different words for the word stranger that appear in the Old Testament, which I briefly touched on in our pre-debate special. Now, the word that is the stranger for every time he's reading is gar, okay, which really is talking about a Hebrew Israelite stranger, because there are many times in the scriptures that Hebrew Israelites are considered strangers for multiple reasons, and I have an entire lesson on it coming up right here on Debate Talk for you, so stay tuned for that. I believe it's in a couple of weeks. But I'm just going to give you one of those examples right here. This is 2 Chronicles 15, verse 9. And he gathered all Judah and Benjamin and the strangers with them out of Ephraim and Manasseh and out of Simeon, for they fell to him out of Israel in abundance when they saw that the Lord his God was with him. So right there showing you that Israelites, Ephraimites, Manassites, and Simeonites were being referred to as strangers, because that's the word gar. Now, there are other words in the Hebrew that with strangers appears that it's actually referring to actual strangers, but the word that he wants to always run to is not it. Now, but let's just entertain for a second, maybe possibly, he actually has a point with this whole strangers thing. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, which he was just speaking about. Let's go to verse 46 here in Deuteronomy 28. It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Upon whose seed? The stranger seed? The strangers weren't mentioned in Deuteronomy 28. No, that's upon Israel's seed forever, not upon anybody else. So that's just ridiculous. And anybody who believes this, I really don't feel sorry for you, because as the scriptures say, the Most High said, the deceiver and the deceived are his. All right. But now I'm gonna just touch on something he said. He said the strangers almost outnumber Israel at different points in the scriptures, yet the scriptures say that Israel is as the sand of the sea. So that's again against the scriptures, much like what he said. Now, I touched on something in the pre-debate special where he said on his lesson that he did on Debate Talk for You, is Job an Edomite, or Job is an Edomite. He said that Esau wasn't red or hairy at exactly 1 hour, 1 minute, and about 25 seconds into that. You guys could go listen for yourselves and see where he said Esau wasn't red or hairy, when in Genesis 25 and 25 it tells you he's red, and in Genesis 27 and 11 it tells you he was hairy. So the man is a blatant liar, and he just clearly, he always wants to accuse somebody of twisting scripture, and that's what he's an expert at. Now, let's just entertain for a second that maybe there are some strangers that are among the Israelites today. Well, let's see about that. This is Matthew 13 and 30. This is what who the world knows that Jesus Christ said regarding strangers that might be amongst Israel. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. So what is that telling you? That even if there is strangers among Israel, that guess what? They're going to grow with us together until the time comes. And when who the world calls Jesus Christ makes his return on the planet Earth, he will gather them together and burn them. All right? Now, I'm going to go to Hebrews 11, because he's talking about this actual, you have no actual proof that you're an Israelite, even though he wants to make the assumption that Edomites went into captivity with Israel, even though he doesn't have any actual proof. That's just an assumption he's making. But let's see about this actual proof, since he wants to just go by actual proof. Let's see what happened with Moses. This is Hebrews 11, and I'm going to start at verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. So by faith, Moses declared who he was as an Israelite. So this is a faith thing. okay, and it's a spiritual thing. But see, he wants to take this spiritual Israelite thing and run with it. He has no balance. And the scriptures say a false balance is an abomination. He doesn't know how to balance the spiritual and the physical. He doesn't know how to balance the fact that our spirits indicate that we are physically the children of Israel. And it's not just the curses that allows us to say this. And you've seen different 12 tribes breakdowns, I'm sure, Josh. I don't even know why you think the curses is the only thing that helps us identify the 12 tribes. That's ridiculous. All right, but I'm gonna skip up to verse 1 here in chapter 11, because he's talking about you have to have actual proof. Well, let's see what the Bible says about this actual proof that Josh is talking about. This is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. So, I mean, reading this verse, it allows me to see something about Josh. He doesn't have faith. And the fact that he doesn't have faith means that he doesn't have understanding pursuant to verse 3 here that I just read. So, of course, he doesn't understand what's going on in the Bible. He doesn't understand that through the Spirit and through the Scriptures, the Most High left us a blueprint on how to identify who the Israelites are and who the 12 tribes of Israel are, because he has no faith. All right? And, hey, faith, if you don't have faith, you're not going to make it, man. That's clear in the Scriptures. A Christian who just got baptized into his church can tell you that. But I'm going to get right back into how I wanted to get started in this thing. And we're going to go to the Apocrypha. We're going to go to Baruch. We're going to go to the 4th chapter, and I'm going to start at verse 36. All right. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. I'll say now, Jerusalem, a lot of people hear that word Jerusalem, and the first thing they're going to think is the city of Jerusalem. But you have to understand something. Jerusalem in Israel is a people before it's a place. All right? Now, you wouldn't have to look east if you was already in Jerusalem to Jerusalem. But I'm going to keep reading. This verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. So what is that letting us know? That the predominant, because we have to look to the east towards Jerusalem, the predominant amount of Israelites are in the west today, all right, which would be North, Central, and South America, known as the Western Hemisphere. Now I'm going to go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and I'm going to go to verse 68. We know a lot of people, I'm sure, are familiar with this verse, but I have to read to establish something. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by way whereof I spake unto thee. We know the word Egypt is referring to a house of bondage. So we shall go into slavery or into bondage via ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. What shall we see no more again? Our land, Israel. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now we know it says sold, so that word buy is not talking about actually being purchased. It's talking about being redeemed. So these are a couple of scriptures that helps us generally identify who the nation of Israel is as a whole before we even get into the tribes. Now we're going to go back to the Apocrypha. We're going to go to 2nd Ezra. Even though Josh will make the horrendous claim that this is false prophecy. This is 2nd Ezra, even though history will coincide with this perfectly. This is 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, the 40th, starting at the 40th verse. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their land in the time of Hosea the king. Now, if you're not familiar with biblical history, I'll give you a little refresher on it. The northern and the southern kingdom split up after the death of Solomon in the reigns of Rehoboam and Jeroboam. Now, they basically started to function as two different nations. You have the northern tribes and you had the 3 southern tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and you have the rest of the tribes that went into the north. They eventually went into captivity under the Assyrians. Now, during the captivity under the Assyrians, they left Assyria, which we're going to read here. Whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. What was that further country? It was the Americas. That they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half. And the same region is called Arsareth. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come. Now the word Arsareth really is a transliteration from the Hebrew word AHLAZAR, AHLAZAR, which just means another land. And you can Google Ashereth, and the majority of scholars will tell you the same thing. Okay, I'm going to keep moving right along, though. We're going to go to Genesis, the 49th chapter, which, for those of you who are not familiar with the 12 tribes breakdown, is a key chapter in identifying the 12 tribes of Israel. It's Genesis 49:1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. So it's telling you this is how we're going to be able to identify each other. All right, this is clear. This is the Most High put the Spirit on his servant Jacob to do this. All right, now I'm going to go to Romans, the 8th chapter, briefly. Before I start getting into each individual tribe, I just want to kind of give this outline. This is Romans, the 8th chapter, starting at verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God, of the Most High. So the Spirit, the things that are outlined in the Bible that identify not only the children of Israel, but each particular tribe, identifies with what's happened to us in our spirits and the way we behave and our mannerisms to say that we are the Israelites, all right? See, but a spiritual person can't discern that, which is what's wrong with Josh. Now I got to go to back to the Old Testament, going to the book of Hosea. This is Hosea. I'm going to start at chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel, my apologies. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which apparently Josh doesn't know. Which cannot be measured nor numbered. Yet Josh says that we're almost outnumbered by the heathen, which is clearly against the scripture. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Where is this place where it was said we are not the sons of the Most High? Here in the Americas. But that's where they told us we were black, we were Haitian, we were West Indian, we were Puerto Rican. All right, verse 11. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. All right, now I'm just going to hit a couple more before I get into the breakdown of all the tribes. We're going to go to Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. Now, Josh will tell you this is talking about ancient Babylon, but that doesn't add up. Now I'm going to go to this is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. All right, now in ancient Babylon, that didn't happen. Only Judah was oppressed in ancient Babylon. Meanwhile, the northern kingdom was in Assyria, and they came over here to the Americas, all right? And they are known as the Native Americans and Latinos. All right, shall be oppressed, and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captive beheld them fast. They refused to let them go. That's talking about here in America. This is where we've been taken captive, and we're refused to be let go. I'm going to hit this last one before I get into the tribe of Judah. This is Isaiah 11, verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Now, that's talking about, see, a problem some people have with accepting that the Latinos and Native Americans are Israelites is the fact that the issues that the Negroes have with the Latinos and Native Americans. But that's a curse that the Most High put upon us, and this, which I just read about here in Isaiah, the 11th chapter, 13th verse. We have that problem. Now, when who the world calls Jesus Christ comes back and unifies Israel back together, that's going to all be out the window. But in the meantime, we're going to have to deal with that. Now I'm going to go to, I'm going to start with the tribe of Judah now. This is Genesis. I'm going to start at chapter 29, and I'm going to go to verse 35. And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah and left bearing. Now the word Judah in the Hebrew is Yahweh, which means praise be to Yahweh, which is the name of the Most High. Now that's an omen nomen. There's a reason for that. We're going to read about it right here in Genesis, the 49th chapter, where Jacob said this would befall us in the latter days. This is Genesis 49, and I'm going to start at verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Now that's referring to the fact that the Negroes, in a sense, dominate pretty much every aspect of this world that we live in. They're the primary trendsetters. They are the top athletes, the top actors. I mean, your Michael Jordans, your Kobe Bryants, your Denzel Washingtons, your Will Smiths. These are all so-called Negroes. These are all Judites. These are all whom everybody praises. Now I'm going to skip to verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, and until him shall the gathering of the people be. Now it says the scepter, again referring to the fact that they shall be rulers, they shall be heads. For example, I'll give you an analogy, a worldly analogy. You have Tupac and Biggie, commonly regarded as two of the greatest rappers of all time, if not the two greatest rappers of all time. Yet, Tupac gets more notoriety than Biggie. Why is that? Because he's of the tribe of Judah. So Judah is that scepter. Judah is who is going to receive the majority of the praise most of the time, as opposed to Biggie, who is a so-called West Indian, who would be of the tribe of Benjamin. All right, now, I'm going to go to 2 Chronicles here. I'm going to go to 2 Chronicles, or 1 Chronicles, rather. The 5th chapter here in the 2nd verse. For Judah prevailed above his brethren, and of him came the chief ruler, but the birthright was Joseph's. Exactly. Reinstilling the fact that Judah, or the so-called Negro, the so-called African American, is who is going to prevail over everybody else. Why? Because the Lord has ordained it that way. All right. That's why they excel above all the other tribes. All right. But I'm going to get Genesis 49, starting at verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art going up. He stoopeth down, he crouched down as a lion, referring to him getting tribe of Judah being taken down and taken into slavery. And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? All right, because Judah is known for being extremely complacent right now. They're not being roused up, but when they do rouse up, it's always havoc. Example, the Watch riots in the 60s and in the 90s. That was an example of Judah, that lion, being roused up. All right, now I'm going to skip to the tribe of Benjamin. This is Genesis 49, and we're going to go to verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. Now, that is describing the spirit of Benjamin, being that ravenous wolf. Now, if anybody out there is a so-called West Indian or is familiar with West Indians, whether they be Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Bahamians, so on and so forth, you know that they have a wild spirit. They have a spirit as a ravening wolf. My wife is of the tribe of Benjamin, and let me tell you, that's a ravening wolf. All right, if I've ever seen one. Now, let's go to Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter, and I'm going to start at verse 12. My apologies. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 12. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall come over him all the day long, and he shall be between his shoulders. Now it says that Benjamin shall dwell in safety, and that's referring to where the islands that Benjamin, the so-called West Indians, currently inhabit. They are the top vacationing spots. They have less turmoil. They get less affected by natural disasters in the Caribbean as opposed to the other islands. Why? Because they are the Lord's beloved. They are his baby. They are the youngest child of Jacob. So the Lord has him dwelling in safety. All right. Hence why I believe it's 13 of the top 15 vacationing spots in the Caribbean are all controlled by so-called West Indians. Now we're going to jump to the tribe of Levi, which are the so-called Haitians. And go to back to Genesis 49. This is Genesis 49. I'm going to start at verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret. Unto their assembly mine honor be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. All right, so it's talking about coming into their assemblies. What are their assemblies that the Most High is not going to come into? They are witchcraft ceremonies. If anybody's familiar with Haiti and the Dominican Republic, you understand that witchcraft is prominent in these areas. Voodoo in Haiti and Brujeria in the Dominican Republic. Now we keep reading to verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. Now, if anybody's familiar with, especially the so-called Haitians, they have fear, cruel wrath and anger as a so-called Haitian. I can attest to that in my family. I will divide them in Jacob and scattered them in Israel. Exactly, because anybody who knows anything about the tribe of Levi, you know that they were divided and scattered in all throughout the coast of Israel, and they're divided and scattered in Israel today. If you look at any Haitian neighborhood, the majority of the time it's surrounded by another neighborhood which is more predominantly dwelled in by another tribe. For example, you have Little Haiti. It is adjacent of Liberty City in Miami. Now, Liberty City is a huge Judite neighborhood, but it has that suburb of Little Haiti right there next to it, showing that we're scattered amongst the tribes. The same thing, in the suburbs as in the ancient days. Just like when you take a look at the island of Hispaniola, where Haiti and the Dominican Republic currently are today, Haiti is really only a suburb of the Dominican.
All right, thank you, Sam. Appreciate that. Tupac and Biggie, I mean, really? Is this what this guy's going at us, Tupac and Biggie? The reason why Tupac was highly more accepted than Biggie has nothing to do with him being from the tribe of Judah or Biggie being from the tribe of Benjamin. He was more accepted because most people regard him as the superior rapper. I'm not even going to get into that. That's like the stupidest thing I ever heard in somebody trying to justify that 12 tribes chart. But anyway, also the brother said that I was lying when I said that at times in history the stranger outnumbered Israel. Well, apparently he never read Deuteronomy 4:27, where it says when God cursed them, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and Israel went into several captivities and got out, not just in America or in Babylon or by the Romans. It says, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. So even AHLAZAR.
All right, I see the call just dropped once again. Stand by. Hold on for a second. Over Josh, when you get a chance, make sure you call back. The number is 877-280-9681. Once again, there's a lot of people tuning into the show. So, once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. But, we're trying to work through the kinks. So we're just standing by right now for Brother Josh. I just paused the time. And once again, let us know your views. What you think about, is the 12-tribe chart authentic? I see a lot of people pressing the number 1 already with questions. So I hope you guys stand by, because when we get to the public Q&A, we're going to go to you guys and get your opinions. And, hopefully you guys are writing down some notes right now. Debate Talk for you is all about originality, of course, with that element of entertainment, but most of all, it's about edification. So I pray that you guys write down your notes, and you guys will do some extensive studies on this particular topic. So once again, we're just standing by right now, waiting for Brother Josh to call back in. Hold on for a second. Okay, I see the brother. All right, Brother Josh, you can go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sal. I don't know if it's the phone or the high volume of calls. I don't know. But anyway, right, as I was saying, using these secular rappers to back something up, that was just stupid. Also, like I said in Deuteronomy 4:27, God said that we will be few in number among the heathen. Are we among the heathen right now, AHLAZAR? He will say yes. They will be at the sand of the sea once he brings them out. Keep your prophecies in context. He also went to Jeremiah 50:33. This is what he read. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captive held them fast. They refused to let them go. He said, this don't add up, because Judah and Israel didn't go into captivity at the same time. But it doesn't say here that they went into captivity at the same time. It just said they were oppressed together. And was there a time in history where ancient Israel and ancient Judah were oppressed together, which means at the same time or during the same time period? Yes. Because first Israel went into captivity to the Assyrians, and then Judah later followed them. So they were oppressed together. He said this don't add up, though. Well, if you go right over to Jeremiah 51, because there were no chapter divisions in the Bible, and you keep reading, it proves it's talking about ancient Babylon and ancient Judah. It's not talking about America, AHLAZAR. You need to stop lying. I'm going to show you right now. Jeremiah 51 and verse 10. He's talking about the punishment he's going to put on Babylon. Verse 10. The Lord have brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon. AHLAZAR, learn the history. The Medo-Persian Empire destroyed the Babylonian Empire. And this is the same Babylonian Empire it's talking about in Jeremiah 50 that took Judah into captivity. So unless you believe that the Medes going to come again and attack America, you don't make any sense, bro. You got to keep your prophecy in context. I knew you were going to do this. That's what all y'all racist Hebrews do. Y'all go to these prophecies that already been fulfilled and try to make them be talking about you today. But I'm not falling for it, bro. The Medo-Persian Empire destroyed ancient Babylon.
Okay, wow, we're having some major technical difficulties tonight. Brother Josh, once again, I don't know if you got to maybe use another phone or something like that, but it keeps on dropping. Once again, the number is 877-280-9681. Stand by, everybody. I'm just going to pause the time once again, and let's wait for Brother Josh to call back in.
This is talking about ancient Babylon, right? And then the brother called me a liar because I did the Job was an Edomite class, and I said Esau was not red and hairy. Everybody who knows me knows I did a video on YouTube nearly 6 years ago titled Esau is Not the White Man, and it's still on YouTube. You can type it in right now, and you see me sitting up there with a light-skinned brother named Brother Joel, and everybody can testify that in that class I taught that Esau was not red and hairy, but red all over like a hairy garment, as it specifically says in the scriptures. In other words, Esau had red hair. Everybody who knows me knows that I taught that and always have taught that. So, brother, you're a liar. What you're doing is you're trying to take things that I said or take part of things I said and try to use it against me. But everybody on Blog Talk, thousands upon the thousands of listeners who know about ABT, know what I teach you. So your credibility is shot, bro. You've already been proven to be a liar. Everybody knows how I break that down. And finally, most importantly, bro, all of this stuff you went to about Second Ezra and Azaroth, come on, bro, really? Azaroth did not say America. You made it say America. You never proved that Judah was the American Negro. Only thing you gave was a bunch of racial, ignorant stereotypes. Oh, my, she's from the West Indies. She's ravenous. She must be Benjamin. Really? Do you really think these people are that stupid listening? Come on, bro. They want real truth. This stuff is funny, what you're bringing up. And then you're going to try to say with the stranger, which I just thought was special. If you go to Joshua chapter 9 and verse 21, because when I read Deuteronomy 29, I pointed out that it called them the hewers of wood and the bringers of water. This is the penalty that they put upon the strangers when they conquered them in war. So when it says the stranger from the hewer of the wood to the gatherers of the water, you know this ain't talking about no Hebrew Israelites. They didn't impose that on fellow Hebrews. This is Joshua chapter 9, verse 21. This is talking about when the Gibeonites tried to deceive Joshua, and look at the penalty he put on them, Joshua 9:21. And when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that it's 8:21, 9:21. Here we go. It says, and the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water unto all the congregation, as the princes had promised them. That's the penalty that the children of Israel put upon the strangers. That was their job when they lived among Israel as conquered slaves or as slave labor. So what you're doing when you read Deuteronomy 29, that stranger, that's talking about Israel. That ain't talking about Israel. Israel did not have anybody stray away and come back and consider these strangers at that time in history. Get your history right, bro. You don't understand anything about your history or the history of the scriptures, right? But then you read verse 23. Look what it says. Now, therefore, ye are cursed. Who? The Gibeonites. How are they cursed? And there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God. That's what Joshua is telling them. You go back and read Deuteronomy 29. It said the stranger who's among you, from the hewer of the wood to the drawers of the water. That's the penalty they put on non-Hebrews, bro. You need to learn the Torah. You don't understand Torah law. All you know how to do is be a parakeet. That means repeat what Tahar and everybody at GMS has taught you, bro. But what I'm giving you is true understanding. You're trying to come out here with these amateur tactics. First, you try to attack my credibility by going after the Job, when everybody already knows how I teach about Job being an Edomite and how I break down Esau not being a white man. Everybody knows that. So for you to even go after that when the populace already knows how I teach that, that makes you stupid. That's what that does, because everybody knows how I break that down. You can't lie to these people and be like, well, Josh believes this, and everybody knows. Finally, bro, when you go to Romans chapter 8, it doesn't have anything to do with the flesh at all. It's talking about how anybody who is led by the Spirit is a son of God. And this ain't anybody who led by the Spirit is a Hebrew Israelite or will be identified by tribe. That's what you're reading into that. So to sum it all up, you twisted Jeremiah chapter 50. You lied on me and twisted something I said in my debate talk for you, which I will gladly debate you on Job being an Edomite, which somebody already brought this to your attention and you back down. You follow what I'm saying? I'll gladly debate you on that. I will gladly debate you on Esau not being the white man. You follow what I'm saying? So don't come in here and try to entice these people and seduce them with lies and twisting stuff that I said out of context, because I've been on debate talk for you for a long time, and everybody already knows what I believe and how I break it down. I've been on YouTube for over 6 years, and that class is still on there. Google Esau is not the white man and see what I meant when I said Esau is not red, was not red and hairy. He was red all over like a hairy garment. So I can't wait to hear your rebuttal and twist more scripture. I'm actually enjoying myself. That's all I got to say for now.
Okay, once again, you're now tuned in to Debate Talk for You. The number is 877-280-9681. That's 877-280-9681. The title of this debate, is the 12-tribe chart authentic? Is the 12-tribe chart authentic? Hopefully you guys are definitely enjoying this debate so far. Once again, excuse the technical difficulties. I'm hearing that things are getting corrected on the Internet overseas to the international listeners out there. I appreciate that. And right now we're still into the rebuttal part of this debate. That's 10 minutes each. So let me just reset this timer. Once again, all of you out there that's on Facebook, I need your support in order for us to go to that next level. We got some longevity with the show. I need you to go to the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/debatetalkforyou, and click the like button. If you support the movement, you like what you hear on this show on a weekly basis, click the like button so we can show the masses out there that we have a strong listening audience out there that listen to Debate Talk for You. Okay, let's go to my brother AHLAZAR right now. Let me just set the timer. Once again, it's 10 minutes each, and you can go ahead, brother.
Yeah, with Josh is going to sit here and accuse me of trying to seduce and entice the people. I'm just doing what you try to do, so, that's funny. This guy, he wants to keep dwelling on this whole strangers thing. And what's funny is when I go to Ezra, the 6th chapter and the 21st verse, let's see what the scriptures say about Israel and the stranger and what their relationship should be. This is Ezra 6:21. And the children of Israel, which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land to seek the Lord God of Israel did eat. So it said the Israelites had to separate themselves from the heathen of the land. Again, but you want to keep bringing up the stranger thing. I got a whole 2-hour lesson on it. I hope you tune in. And I didn't accept the debate on if Job was an Edomite because it's not a 3-hour topic. I did a video responding to your horrendous lesson, and I chopped that doctrine to pieces. I did a 5-minute video totally debunking that the white man is anything but an Edomite. It doesn't make any sense. It is a documented fact that the Japhites, who you people claim the white people are, were black 200 years before Alexander even started to reign. So you have to explain to me scientifically how an entire populace of people turned from black to white in the course of 200 years when a couple thousand years before that they were black. What happened then? Oh, please don't tell me it's the climate. It's ridiculous. These people are ridiculous. All right, but I'm going to just get right back into my lesson so I can edify those of the elect that might be out there listening. We're going to go back to the tribe of Levi, which would be the so-called Haitian, among other people today, but predominantly the so-called Haitian. Now let's go to Genesis 49. I read 5 to 7. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 33 and 8. Salaki. This guy got a lot of nerve, y'all. And he's proud, man. Anybody listening out there can see he's proud. The Lord resists the proud. But so I'm gonna just keep reading. This is Deuteronomy 33, and I'm gonna start here at verse 8. And Levi, he said, "Let thy Thummim and thy Urim with thy holy one, whom thou didst prove at Massah, and with them didst strive at the waters of Salah. let me jump up here. I'm going to get to the point. I'm going to go to verse 11. Bless, Lord, his substance, and accept the work of his hand. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, and they did not rise again. Now, the so-called Haitians, they're known for a few things. They're known for their witchcraft, their voodoo, and they're also known for something called the Haitian Revolution, beginning in 1791, and finally getting their independence in 1804. What did they do there? They smited through the loins of them that hate them. They smit through the loins of those French white men, all right? And won independence of their country. That was a blessing that the Lord put on us. Hence why we were the only group of so-called Negroes who were able to actually win our independence, as opposed to it getting handed over to us. It's things as the Emancipation Proclamation and such. But I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to go to Exodus, the 28th chapter, and I'm going to get verse 31 here on Levi. This is Exodus 28 and 31. And thou shalt make the robe of thy ephod all of blue. Now, the high priest, they all wore the ephod, meaning they wore the ephod, meaning they had to wear that robe of blue. So that color blue is synonymous with the tribe of Levi. Hence, when you go and take a look at the Haitian flag, it's blue at the top and red on the bottom. The blue represents the black Haitians, and the red represents the mulatto Haitians, whose forefathers are actually white men, Edomites. And that's why it was red, because that red represents Esau. And, and Josh could try to dance around. He said he was red like a hairy garment, but he said he was red when he was born and he was hairy when he grew up. You can't get around that. That's plain. It's in the scriptures, and you can listen to him and hear him say that those things aren't true. So, that's on him. You could admit you're wrong, or you could sit here and remain prideful. And I'm sure you'll remain prideful as you usually do. But I'm going to move on. Where am I at here? I'm going to go to Luke. I'm going to go to Luke, the first chapter. See, because, again, it's a spiritual thing, and he doesn't understand the spiritual things. All right, so we're going to go to Luke 1. We're going to deal with a certain man, a famous man here in the scriptures. This is Luke 1, and I'm going to start at verse 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias, of the course of Abiah, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. Now I'm going to skip up here to verse 13. Okay, so you have two Levites, all right? They're married. Okay, now this is verse 13 here in Luke 1. But the angel said unto him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name John. Now we know that's referring to John the Baptist. Now coincidentally, John the Baptist is of the tribe of Levi. Now who we say is the tribe of Levi, which are the so-called Haitians, Jean Baptiste, which is John the Baptist, is one of the most, if not the most, commonly used last name in all of Haiti. All right, so some people can believe that's a coincidence, but we choose to believe that it's all through the Spirit. Now we're going to go to 2 Samuel, or 1 Samuel rather, and I'm going to go to the 2nd chapter and the 31st verse. And this guy's got the nerve to say, real quick, I want to touch on this. He got the nerve to say, I don't understand the history. And I do believe that the Medes are going to actually come to destroy the New Babylon in all actuality. So I do believe that. And moreover, oppressed together does not mean oppressed at the same time. Now, if you ask a girl to go to a dance with you, so y'all could go together, you have to ask her out, and you both together have to go there. Now, everybody at that dance didn't go together. That just doesn't make any sense. But see, he'll try to demean the fact that I'm using these very simple analogies to try to relay this point. The only reason I'm using these simple analogies is so you can get it, because it's clear that you can't understand anything that's on too deep of a spiritual level. So I'm going to break it down to the brass tacks and get real simple so you can understand it. Now, if you can't receive something that simple, then, hey, that's on you. Anyway, let's go to 1 Samuel, the 2nd chapter, and I'm going to go to the 31st verse here. 31. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm in the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thine house. Now, the Lord is speaking through Samuel to Eli. Now, Eli was of the tribe of Levi. So his father's house is the tribe of Levi. Okay, so it said there shall not be an old man in his house. Hence why the median age for a person in the island of Haiti is 48 years old. The majority of people in Haiti are all very young, most of which are under the age of 25. Okay, so that's what it's referring to when its curse came upon us. It said that there shall not be an old man in our house. All right, now I'm gonna go to Malachi, the 2nd chapter, and I'm gonna finish this on Levi. This is Malachi 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. And now, O ye priests, this commandment is for you, meaning this commandment is for the so-called the Levites, who we say today are the so-called Haitians. Okay? If you will not hear and you will not lay it to heart and give glory unto my name, saith the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yea, I have cursed them already because you do not lay it to heart. What is our blessings? Our land. Now, that's why Haiti is so jacked up. Haiti is 94% deforested. All right? That's part of the cursings of our blessings. All right, this is verse 3. Behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces. It is a popular voodoo ritual for Haitians to spread dung upon their faces. They actually do this on the island. I'm going to keep reading. Even the dung of your solemn feast. And one shall take you away with it. And ye shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith the Lord of hosts. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me, because he set him up as the priest, and was afraid before my name. The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity. For the priest's lips shall keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. But ye are departed out of the way. And they are departed out of the way. That's why they mostly are into voodoo and Roman Catholicism there on the island. And ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all people. How has the Lord made the so-called Haitian contemptible and base before all people? He has made us the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. This is what this is talking about. So you mean to tell me all these things that describe the tribe of Levi, all to a T describe the so-called Haitian, yet this isn't the truth? I'm going to keep reading, though. According as ye have not kept my ways and have been partial in the law. All right, also I'd just like to take this time to reference the Maccabees. Again, I have a whole channel called Hell Up in Haiti on YouTube. You can check it out, where we go deep into showing that all the traits of the so-called Haitian and the Levites of the Bible are fit to a T. You can check it out, but the Maccabees, they took down, I have a lesson right now called The Maccabees Reincarnated right now on YouTube. Check it out, and it's showing you how everything that happened in the Maccabees, which were led by the Hasmoneans, which were Levites, all right, the so-called Haitian revolutionists did the exact same things, proving through the spirit that they are the Levites.
Thank you, Sal, and I hope you can hear me okay. AHLAZAR, you keep saying I keep dwelling on the stranger, and I do, and you keep saying that there are certain times in the Bible when the stranger refers to the foreigners, non-Hebrews. Then you said there are certain times in the Bible where just talking about Hebrew Israelites. But I want to dwell on something related to the stranger. When you did your class, so-called refuting my Job was the Edomite class, you mentioned that your main trump card of knowing that Job was not an Edomite, but a Hebrew Israelite, is because it said that he was a servant of the Most High. Do you still maintain that that's the proof?
That's part of the proof. What are you going to do? You're going to read something about Nebuchadnezzar being a servant of the Most High?
Well, what I'm going to ask you is about Nebuchadnezzar, and I'm going to ask you also about Uriah the Hittite. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Uriah the Hittite, the man who David committed adultery with his wife. I'm familiar.
Okay, who was the Hittites?
Oh, the Hittites, they were Hamitic.
Okay, so does the Most High care about Ham?
No, but he does care about adultery.
No, I mean, but it said that he slew Uriah the Hittite. That's what Samuel said. Nathan said when he was rebuking David, he said, because you have slayed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, the Lord is punishing you. That's what it said.
Yeah, because of what he did. He committed adultery with the man's wife and then set him up to die.
So it had nothing to do with him having this man killed. When Nathan said, because you slayed...
It did have to do with him having a man killed, committing adultery, the wicked intentions of him committing adultery with his wife, and then having the man killed as if to be used as a mechanism to escape his punishment for committing that adultery.
So murder, right? So Uriah the Hittite was a servant of the Most High. Would you agree with that? Because he served David and David served the Most High. Would you agree with that?
I would agree that by extension, but not naturally. He served David. He was David's one of David's warriors.
living among Israel, did he have to keep the laws of Israel? Or was he allowed to continue to be a pagan?
He would have to. That's true.
Does keeping the laws of Israel make you a servant of the Most High if you're really doing it in spirit and in truth?
Doesn't necessarily make you a servant of the Most High by your spirit and by your flesh. No, but he was.
You truly serve the Most High.
I'll give you that he was serving the Most High in that sense. I'll give you that.
Okay, did the Most High recognize him serving him like he would recognize anybody else?
Not an Israelite, no.
Oh, no, not it. So Uriah the Hittite, on the resurrection, when all the Israelites come up, where do you think Uriah the Hittite is going?
He will not be with the Israelites. He will be with the rest of the heathen in bondage.
No, I'm saying, like, where would he be going? Like, would he be going to the kingdom, or would he be going to the lake of fire? Because the Bible speaks of the lake of fire as well.
Yeah, the Bible speaks of the lake of fire, but everyone's not going into the lake of fire. We're the remnant of the heathen that are going to be our slaves, pursuant to Amos, the 9th chapter. Okay, they're not going to the lake of fire.
So in Ezekiel, when it talks about
going to the lake of fire.
Okay, so in Ezekiel, when it talks about the stranger getting an inheritance with Israel in the land of Israel in the kingdom.
Again, that's the word guard. That's the word guard. That's not referring to an actual stranger.
But it makes a separation.
Like I said, why don't you go to the Hebrew on every single time?
Okay, here's an example. Could you give me an example of a time in the scripture when the stranger is referring to the non-Hebrew in the Torah, in the first 5 books of Moses? Give me an example. Because you keep saying... Okay.
One second. You're right about that. Give me 1 second. I'd have to pull something up. I can give you the breakdown on the different words, but I'd have to pull it up.
Let me pull one up for you. Could you turn to Numbers? I'm sorry. Can you turn to Exodus 19? I'm sorry, Numbers 22 and verse 21, and I'll read it. It says, "Thou shalt neither."
Turn to where again?
Exodus 22 and 21.
Okay.
Now, could you read that for me?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get there. Exodus 22:21.
Mm-hmm.
Can you cite to me the word in Hebrew before I read it?
It's the Hebrew word gori.
Okay, well that's not dealing with a heathen.
It says, "Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt." And the same word, when it refers to the Hebrew Israelite, is gori. So are the Hebrew Israelites, are they heathen or are they non-heathen?
Okay, but that's not a heathen, that's a stranger. Like I said, the word guard, that's referring to an Israelite stranger.
Okay, so it's an Israelite stranger.
There's 2 other words for stranger in the Old Testament. You need to go to those ones, because those are talking about ones that aren't Israelites.
But you're not proving it. You're telling us there's more than one word used for stranger in the Hebrew, and I agree, but you're picking what word you want to be the Hebrew
that's
and
not
what word
true,
you want to be heathen.
Because I
one at a time, fellas. Just letting you know, one at a time, guys. One at a time.
I read in 2 Chronicles 15:9 where that word popped up, where Israelites are being referred to as strangers. So I did prove that.
Okay, so in Exodus 22 and 21, it said, "Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt." If it said they were strangers in the land of Egypt, by your analogy, that would mean they were fellow Egyptians to the Egyptians. Because if stranger to Israel means Israelite stranger, then stranger to Egypt would mean Egyptian stranger. Is that not true?
No.
Wait. Now, see, now do you see what you're doing? It said, "You shall not vex a stranger." Let me show you what this is doing. Let me read it.
When the word
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me read it with the interpretation. Let me read it with the interpretation you're using. "Thou shalt not vex a Hebrew stranger, nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt." If strangers in the first time they used, it means don't vex a stranger, which is a fellow Hebrew. And he said, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. In other words, don't treat your fellow Hebrew the way you were treated in Egypt as a stranger. So stranger to the Egyptians means non-Egyptian. So stranger to the Hebrews would mean non-Hebrew. How can you make stranger be Hebrew stranger in the first part, but stranger doesn't mean Hebrew stranger in the second part?
Because when you go into the understanding of that word stranger, it just means that you're a Hebrew Israelite that was born somewhere outside of where you are at, or outside of Israel. So were they born out? Well, technically, a lot of them were born in Israel. I mean, in Egypt during that time, but the patriarchs were not born in Egypt.
So at that time, so let me ask you a question. What is a proselyte?
A proselyte, that is a Gentile who is an Israelite foreigner who is awakened to who he is, much like all of us that you see
now,
as you would call racist Hebrews.
Okay, now can you show us any documentation or proof what the word proselyte means? That
I can show you in the I can show you in the scriptures.
You're going to just read to me the word proselyte. I want you to show me what it means. The only thing the
I'm
word
not going to just read you. I'm not just going to read you the word proselyte. I'll read you scriptures where it's referring to these strangers and these Gentiles and these proselytes being Israelites.
Okay, so you're going to define the word proselyte? Because right now, I'm using the Smith Bible Dictionary, right? And I'm going to read the definition of proselyte. And I want you to tell me.
Okay, in the Smith Bible Dictionary. Now, let me ask you something.
Wait, let me finish. It says
go ahead,
proselyte, a stranger, a newcomer, the name given by Jews to foreigners who adopted the Jewish religion. The dispersion of the Jews in foreign countries, which have been spoken of elsewhere, enabled them to make many converts to their faith. The converts who were thus attracted joined with varying strictness in the worship of the Jews. In Palestine itself, even Roman centurions learned to love the conquered nation and built synagogues for them. So it tells you that it's a foreigner that converted to the Jewish faith, not the way you're defining. Every dictionary and encyclopedia defines it that way.
That's the dictionary. Let me ask you something. Now,
you can't ask me anything. This is
yes,
that's the only way.
You got about 10 seconds, bro. Just be patient. You got about 10 seconds.
It's the only way I can answer the question. It's the only way I can answer your question is by asking you a question.
What question? Okay, how about you just read the proselyte for me? Just read proselyte for me, because my time's going to be up anyway. I got like less than a minute left. So why don't you read proselyte for me?
I'm trying to answer your question.
No, I mean, okay, answer the question, but not with a question.
I can't answer the question with a question?
I said answer the question, but not with a question. Just answer the question.
Well, listen, the word education means to draw from within, so I have to ask questions to draw out the answer from you, so I can educate you by giving you the answer.
I just want to know, can you define proselyte according to the scriptures? You cannot. You can just read proselyte in the scriptures.
I can't. You're not defining it according to the scriptures. You're reading Smith's Bible Dictionary, so you didn't define it according to the scriptures. Right,
but that's based on history and research, which you have not done. You're just.
Now, Josh, I'm going to ask the question that I was going to ask to answer your question.
Okay.
Can you give me the definition of love?
Can I give you the definition of love?
Yes.
Oh, I can look it up in the dictionary, or are you asking me to give my own personal definition of love?
The dictionary definition.
Okay, you want to wait till I actually get my dictionary out and define it? That's what you want me to do, or do you want to move on?
You can just give me the general. You can just give me the general definition. I'll accept.
Well, love means to care about somebody. Love means to do for people and to be there for somebody when they need you, and so on and so forth.
How does the Bible define love?
The Bible says several things of love, like love is keeping the commandments of the Lord, and the Bible also defines love as the same way I just defined it. Like when it says God loves the stranger, you know what I mean, and by giving him food and raiment. By giving him food and raiment, that's a definition of love, by helping him out.
Yeah, the foreign-born Israelite, definitely. Now, love, I want to stick to the 1 John 5:3 definition, which is the keeping the commandments. I'm sure you're familiar with. But if you looked up in a dictionary, love, would it tell you keeping the commandments of the Most High is the definition of it?
No, because the dictionary gives the general definition of love, and the Bible gives the love as defined in the context of keeping the commandments.
Okay, so would you agree that dictionaries and the Bible's definition of certain terms can differentiate from one another?
Well, in certain contexts, at one point you have a love as a doctrinal definition, and you got love as a general definition. The Bible gives you a general definition, which coincides with the Bible or with the dictionary, and it gives you a doctrinal definition, which coincides with 1 John. But when it says proselyte, this is an ancient Greek word that you can look up outside of the Bible and look how it was used in history, and it always referred to it's a Greek word that the non-Hebrews used that the Hebrews used for non-Hebrews that converted to their faith. You have to look that up and see. You can't make your own definition. You're like, well,
is he there?
Yeah, it's called this drop. Stand by, brother. Stand by. Once again, the number is 877-280-9681. Yeah, we have some technical difficulties here, so stand by for a second. There's a lot of people tuning into this debate. Yeah, the title of this debate for those of you that's joined in is the 12-tribe chart authentic? Right now, just pause the timer. I'm just waiting for standing by for Brother Josh to call back in. Now we're getting closer and closer to the public Q&A. All right, hold on for a second. I see the brother. Okay, you guys can go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that, AHLAZAR. I think I did that with myself. I think I have to talk to you on the phone.
It's all right. I know what happens. Now, I mean, that's enough on that question. We can move on. I know you got your sword in front of you. Can you turn to Revelation, the 7th chapter?
Revelation what?
The 7th chapter.
Okay. Revelation 7, and what verse?
Start at 4, and let's just read down.
Okay, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
So what time is this talking about? It's talking about Christ's second coming, correct?
It's talking about the wrath that God's going to put on the earth prior to Christ's second coming, but right before it, yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is talking about when the chosen, the elect, the 144 and the multitude going to be delivered, correct?
Yes, these 144 from the tribes, the 12 tribes of Israel that are mentioned here are going to be sealed. Yes.
Okay. Read verse 5.
It says the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000.
Now, Brother Josh, you're familiar with who we say each tribe is, correct?
Yeah, y'all say that. Not. I know the first three by heart, but I can look up the other ones. But I know Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Negro, West Indies, Haitians, respectively.
Okay, so Judah would say the Negro or the African American, right?
Yeah, that's what y'all say. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Keep reading, brother.
It says of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000.
Now the Reuben we say is the Seminole Indians. Just so you know, if you didn't know that. Okay, now keep reading.
And it says the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000.
Okay, now stop. Now Gad we say is the North American Indians. Now,
right.
Can I ask you a question? Geographically, where are the African Americans, the Seminole Indians, and the Native Americans located?
Geographically, well, African Americans, it tells you in the name. Native Americans, America. African Americans, America. You follow what I'm saying?
Okay, so you would say they're all dwelling in America or North America, more the United States predominantly, correct?
Well, all the black people who were brought over here in the slave trade were called African American. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. But when we say Judah, we mean that the ones that landed here in America.
Right. I understand that.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure so we're clear. All right. Now, so Judah, Gad, and Reuben, they all are predominantly dwellers of United States, Canada, North America.
Well, according to your interpretation.
According to us. Let's make it.
Yeah. According to that chart, yes, most definitely. Yes. Okay.
Now, read verse 6, brother.
Verse 6 says, of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000.
Now Asher we say is Colombia to Uruguay. I want you to, just so you know, I just want you to stop after every tribe, okay? If you could do that for me. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, of the tribe of Naphtali, I already read that. Oh, no, Naphtali were 12,000. Okay.
Okay, now we say that's the Argentinian Chilean. So that's where are those, that's all geographically in South America, right?
If I'm not mistaken, yes.
Okay, now keep reading.
Okay, of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000.
Now that's the Cubans. We call those the Cubans. Go ahead.
Okay, tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000.
Okay, that's the Dominicans. Go ahead.
Okay, and I know this one, Levi, that's the Haitians. And of the tribe of Issachar were sealed.
Okay, now I just want you to stop. Do you see a pattern here at all?
The pattern is there's 12,000 sealed from every tribe.
Okay, well, that's not the pattern I'm talking about. If you notice, Gad, Reuben, and Judah were all named together. They all inhabit North America. Asher and Naphtali were named one after another. They inhabit South America. Now, Levi, Simeon, and Manasseh were all numbered right next to each other. They all are Hispaniola and Cuba, if you're familiar with geography, or hop and skip from each other. But keep going.
Well, okay, if I could just interject for a second, That's true, but if I make a chart and I label and I get all of these nations that dwell together and I make them line up with those tribes, then I can just make that do that. So I'm not saying that, that you're wrong, but what I'm saying is I could do the same thing. I could take some people that are geographically living next to each other and then label them tribes and say, see, these are these tribes. Now, wouldn't you agree that you could do that? I'm pretty sure you agree that you could do that.
I could do that, but their geographical location is not the only evidence, and I highly doubt you've ever heard anybody present their geographical location pursuant to Revelation, the 7th chapter, ever as evidence to prove that there were the 12 tribes.
Not in Revelation 7, but I've seen people use the geographic location argument. But see, my whole point is this. If you say that Judah is the American Negro, then that would mean that God scattered Israel according to tribe, and the Bible don't say that. I'm not asking you a question; it's a generalization. But do you honestly believe that when the Gentiles were taking Israel into captivity, they let whole tribes stay together? No, they were separating individual families. You would get separated from your wife and your kids and never see them again, and they would go all on the other side of the planet.
Now that's true, but the fact of the matter is Israel always sticks together tribally. So when the Gentiles came to take us into slavery, they're going to come over here. If they're coming into a certain land and Judah's in that land, then all the slaves that they're going to take from that particular area is going to be Judah.
Well, yeah, we did sit together tribally when we could, but we didn't have that choice. When the Gentiles came over here, they separated us. They didn't go to the tribe of Judah and say, okay, we're going to take all these Judites to America. They got sold all over the place.
But when you understand something about the transatlantic slave trade, you had the English, you had the French, you had the Dutch, you had the Portuguese that were taking slaves. Now the English got all their slaves from a certain location. The French the same, the Dutch the same, the Portuguese the same. Now who were in those locations were these tribes. That's where they were living at. And the so-called white man, he knows that. He has maps proving that.
But that's after 70 A.D. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi went to captivity in 70 A.D. about 2,000 years, well, we'll say about 1,500 years prior to that. So,
and how many millions of them fled Roman persecution into Africa?
It tells you that a good amount of them did, and they blended in with the Africans.
And then West Africa, and
they
that's where
blended
we got
in
taken into slavery, right?
Well, we blended in with all the other nations. Those ones that escaped captivity went to other nations, and they blended in with them, and they lost their identity as a tribe.
Are you sure they lost their identity as a tribe?
I'm positive, because if they still had it, you would know for certain with documentation to your family tree that you are Judah. You would know. You would have it on the record. It would be a handed-down oral tradition from your family.
Because we know when the so-called white man took us into slavery, he beat who we were out of us.
Yeah, and he also slept with our ancestors, and a lot of us. Do you believe that every American Negro is black on their dad's side?
No, I wouldn't say that. But like I already read in Matthew 13:30, the wheat and the tares.
All right, let me set the timer. Brother Josh, you can go ahead, brother.
Okay, thank you, Sal. And by the way, how many minutes do we have for the second rebuttal?
7 minutes.
Okay, thank you. And thanks, AHLAZAR. And I just want to throw this out here. The way AHLAZAR was talking to me about the 12 tribes in Revelation, it's the most meek and the most humble way he's come at me since we've been debating. So hopefully we can keep it that way for the rest of the debate. I appreciate that. That's the first time I ever felt like I was actually studying with you and not trying to study against you or fight you. So I just really enjoyed that. I just want to throw that out there. But back to it. When you go to Daniel 9 and 11, because the main point is what a lot of Hebrew Israelites do is they go to prophecies concerning Babylon and it mentions Judah. But see, what they don't see is the inconsistency in that, because they want to say Babylon took Judah into captivity and Babylon is America and Judah is the American Negro. But if you get understanding on these scriptures, you'll know they come out ancient Judah and ancient Babylon, and you will see that it wasn't just Judah. Judah was the prominent tribe. Benjamin and Levi, and even a few people from the other 9 tribes went into captivity with Judah. If you read through Chronicles and Kings carefully, it'll tell you that. So it wasn't strictly Judah. When you read in prophecy and it says Judah, they're talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi with a few from the other tribes. Let me show you something in Daniel to show you that this was fulfilled in Daniel's time. I read this during another debate. This is Daniel 9 and 11. look what it says. It says, yea, all, and Daniel was speaking during the time he was in the Babylonian captivity. It says, yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us. And the oath, that we had to enter into, that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. So Daniel is telling you that Deuteronomy 28 was fulfilled in ancient Babylon. The problem is a lot of these Hebrew Israelites go to the fulfillment of these prophecies and they want to put it in America strictly. A lot of Hebrew Israelites never deal with ancient Babylon being the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28, even though in other scriptures in the Bible it clearly is referring to that. That's why if you ask any Hebrew Israelite to read through Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and show you any Babylonian captivity prophecy, they're going to give you America. They're going to say this is ancient Babylon. They're going to say this is America, right? I haven't ran across one yet. Maybe AHLAZAR would be the first, right? But now when you go to Lamentations chapter 1, so this is where the confusion comes in next. Because they read these ancient prophecies and they apply them to themselves today. And sisters and brothers, you just can't do that. It's not talking about you, no matter how much you wish that it was. This is Lamentations 1, 3-4. And Sal, if I hang up again, just forgive me. It's Lamentations 1, 3-4. Look what it says right here. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All of her persecutors overtook her between the straits. What is this talking about? Is this talking about America? No. This is talking about 586 BCE, when Babylon destroyed Judah. And when Judah went into captivity, it don't just mean Judah. It means Judah as the prominent tribe, along with Benjamin, Levi, and a few from the other 9 tribes. Just like when the northern tribes went into captivity, it says Ephraim. But we know Ephraim wasn't the only northern tribe, so why does it just say Ephraim? Because Ephraim was the leading prominent tribe. So if you say that Judah going into captivity to the American Negroes, you have to include Benjamin and Levi too, because in the prophecy, that's who it speaks of, because it talks about Judah. Judah always had Benjamin and Levi with them since the kingdom split, which AHLAZAR was talking about. But the chart doesn't have Benjamin and Levi as the American Negroes. It makes them something else, even though when you read in the scripture, Judah clearly means everybody who was living among Judah at that time, which was also the stranger, Benjamin, and Levi. Now, when you go to Luke chapter 21, it tells you who went into captivity in 70 A.D. There's a prophecy for 70 A.D.
All right. Once again, it's called Drop. We're just going to pause the timer. Once again, you're now listening to Debate Talk for You. The title of this debate is the 12-Tribe Chart Authentic. The number is 877-280-9681, 877-280-9681. So far, the Blog Talk Radio technicians is letting me know that a lot of things are starting to clear up. I'm hearing from the UK and people out there, Canada, they're saying that everything is working pretty much on the internet. Thank God for that. I really appreciate you guys for staying with us through the technical difficulties. I really appreciate that. All right, Brother Josh is back. Okay, you can go ahead. You got it, brother.
All right, and I apologize to the audience for this phone or my service or whatever. I don't know what's going on. But this is Luke 21, 20 through 24. Look what it says. It's about the prophecy for 70 A.D. Look what it says right here. It says, "Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled." Now, I'm pretty sure AHLAZAR agrees that this is talking about the tribe of Judah, because he knows that by 70 A.D., Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was the prominent tribe. But it said they're going to be led captive into all nations. Sisters and brothers, America is only one nation. So you just can't stick the American Negro in, you just can't say Judah is the American Negro when Jesus said in prophecy they were going to captivity in all nations. So that would mean that chart is invalid. That chart should have Judah, Benjamin, and at least Levi all over the world. But it said all nations. How absolute is all? That means all over the world. So you can't say Judah is just the American Negro. Because it said all nations. And there's nothing in history that speaks about them just taking them from all over the nations and sticking them in America. So, sisters and brothers, just consider the scriptures and let the evidence speak for itself. Israel, all the tribes, are not scattered in one specific location. They're all over the world. Thank you.
Yeah, Josh made a great point, which I'm going to touch on here in a second. But first, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, out of all the evidence that Josh has provided, he has not actually given any evidence to refute the fact that these tribes are who we say they are. You know, he hasn't at all, hasn't given any evidence suggesting that. Okay, now, as far as for the geographical evidence that I had asked them in our cross-examination with Revelation 7, now, it's true. Anybody, you can take any group of people and sit there and say, well, look, these are them. But that's not the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is we're showing you spiritually, we're giving you evidence spiritually how these 12 tribes and these people who dwell in these lands fit to a T all the characteristics of the 12 tribes. And it just so happens in Revelation the 7th chapter, they are listed geographically in the same exact order as we would list them on our 12 tribes sign as saying who's who. You see what I'm saying? That's all we're saying here. You know, of course, it's not the geographical location that proves they're the tribes. That's only further evidence supporting our claim through the Spirit, of course. Now, I just want to touch on a few things. Now, Josh, he spoke about how, of course, we're not saying all of Israel is in America or in the Americas. Israel is all over the world. You have groups of Israelites that are all over the place. But the predominant location for the Israelites is here in America. How do we know that? Because when we read Genesis, the 49th chapter, it gives us the description of what is predominantly going to happen to these Israelite tribes, and that all describes these different groups of people in the Americas of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. I want to just, again, touch on another couple things as far as Deuteronomy 28th chapter being fulfilled in Babylon. Yes, and that's where, again, Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, the 33rd verse comes in. This is going to happen to us in the New Babylon yet. But Judah and Ephraim, or the northern and the southern kingdoms, would be classified together. As far as Judah as a kingdom, yes, we do understand that Judah, Benjamin, and Levi is what is all three tribes are what is being referred to as Judah. On the other hand, the same as Ephraim with the northern kingdom. Okay, but when we bring up scriptures that deal with proving Judah as a tribe, we're only dealing with scriptures that refer to Judah as a tribe and not as a whole. Hence, 2 Corinthians or 1 Corinthians 5 and 2, and as well as the scriptures we use in Genesis 49 and Deuteronomy 33. We're dealing with just the tribe, not the kingdom. We do understand the kingdom. Hence why now the southern kingdom is referred to as black. For example, you got your African Americans, your West Indians, and your Haitians are all referred to as black. That's basically the same as calling us Judah now. That's just the word that the so-called white man, the proverb and the byword, which the so-called white man has put upon us. And there's something that, you know, Josh ignores a lot in a lot of his lessons is that the curses and these prophecies and these things that happen, they're constantly coming to pass because the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, there is no new thing under the sun. And I will also acknowledge that certain scriptures that brothers might pull on Babylon is dealing with ancient Babylon. Some of those scriptures they pull are only dealing with the current Babylon, and some are double-edged. They could go either way. All right. You have to just read the chapters and spiritually discern which is which. Okay. What's my next point? Yeah, but again, these things, they happen over and over throughout the scriptures and throughout history. It's the same things happening. There's no new thing under the sun. This is all the same movie. The Most High's movie is replaying and replaying up until the end times come. All right. And that's and again, we're speaking of prominence when we're speaking of. Judah is the African Americans. Benjamin is the West Indians. Levi is the Haitians. We're speaking of prominence, predominantly. For example, you'll have a city like Atlanta. Atlanta, as we all know, is referred to as a black city. Is Atlanta 100% black? No, but it is predominantly black. Because it is predominantly black, it is safe to say that it is a black city. Just like the predominant amount of African Americans we believe are of the tribe of Judah through the Spirit and through the Scriptures, that's predominant. Now, are there Judites that are elsewhere? Yes. Are there Levites that are elsewhere? Yes, of course. For example, my grandfather is so-called Haitian, all right? I'm of the tribe of Levi, as is he. Now, he went over to Vietnam during the World War, or during the whole thing with Vietnam, And what did he do? He had kids with women in Vietnam and left them over there. You see what I'm saying? So are there Levites over there in Vietnam, as well as Judites and Ephraimites and other tribes? Yes, because the GIs that were of our nation went over there and left kids over there. So, yeah, our people are scattered all over the world. That's agreed. We have no disagreements there. But the predominant identification of these 12 tribes and these people are here in the Western Hemisphere and in the Americas. That's according to biblical prophecy, according to the spirit that the Most High gave upon us. All right, but that's pretty much it for now. I don't want to start going back into the tribes because I know I probably need more minutes. So I'll just we could just get into the call-ins right now.
Okay, once again, you're live listening to Debate Talk for You. All right, this is it, guys. This is the public Q&A where you, the listening audience, we're calling with your questions, your comments. Once again, you guys know the number. The number is 877-280-9681. All you got to do is press the number 1, and, of course, I'll add you into the conversation. Let's go to the people. Let's see what the people got to say. Once again, the title of this debate is the 12-Tribe Chart Authentic? I'm going to ask you guys to keep your questions and your comments pretty much brief due to the high volume of callers. Let's go to the people out here. Let's see what's going on. Let's go to the first person. Let's see. 832-607. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments?
Shalom. I got a comment and a question. You know, I'm down here in Texas.
Okay. What's up, brother?
All right, my question is for Brother Josh.
Okay.
All right, Brother Josh, you said in the pre-debate that a majority of the Negroes in America are physical bloodline Israelites, and we all know the Bible says prove all things. And what I want to know is which or what scriptures would you use to prove that? And then I want to comment after, you provide me what scriptures you would use.
No, what I said in the previous debate, and it's on the record, I said I believe that the majority of the Negroes are predominantly Israel because of the curses, but I said that the curses didn't just come on Israel. I know that the curses are used to identify Israel, and I believe that they are keys to identifying Israel. Like it gives you an idea who Israel is. But as far as the curses telling you specifically who is Israel and what tribe they're from, I don't believe they do that. And let me just give you a quick analogy. I was talking to a brother earlier. I'll give you a perfect example. It's like the Most High give you a bag of marbles, and I'm going to put some black ones in there.
Oh, it's called this drop, brother. Oh, wow. But, okay, 832, if you want to make a comment, I'm just going to stand by waiting for Brother Josh to call back. Go ahead.
My comment is, I feel that the Brother Josh is very proud. And, I feel that if this was a simple debate in which, Brother Josh was on the other side, if it was Brother Josh proving through the scriptures that a majority of the Negroes in America are Israel, for the sake of my point, let's say if, Josh was debating himself, being how proud Brother Josh is, those scriptures that he would provide and what he would give to listening audience wouldn't even survive his own examination. If he judged the same scriptures as Brother AHLAZAR is giving him as if it was himself, it would just be an ignorant argument. He keeps talking about strange. He keeps talking about strangers was with the Israelites and that they outnumbered the Israelites when that's insane. What were the multitudes of strangers during the transatlantic slave trade? What were the Asians then? Hold on. Hold
on. Stand by. Let me let Josh finish up, and I'm gonna get back to you.
Yeah, I lost the call, and I didn't hear anything he said, so I can't really respond. I'm having some crazy technical difficulties.
I can repeat it.
I mean, you can if you want, but I'm just saying. My point was that when I got cut off, and I may get cut off again, it's not my fault. I don't know what's going on because I talked on this same phone earlier this week, and it was fine. Anyway, what I'm saying is the curses identify Israel. We agree on that. What I'm saying is, it's like you got a bag of marbles. Some are black, some are red. The Most High tells you that the black marbles are Israel. The red marbles are the people that's among Israel who went into captivity with them. He tells you to reach in the bag and pull out Israel. But here's the catch. You can't open your eye.
Wow. That's some ignorant. I cannot believe. Listen to what Brother Josh is saying. Do you see, how hypocritical, how much of a carnal understanding this brother has? Proverbs chapter 15, verse 28 says, the heart of the righteous studieth to answer. This brother AHLAZAR is studying, giving, physical evidence in the scriptures that correlates to the spirit of the Israelites today. And I'm going to finish the scripture. It says, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. Brother Josh is coming out with evil things. Anybody can go against an argument. Brother Josh, just stick to small debates. as if it was LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, because this is foolishness is what I'm listening to.
Thanks for your call, brother. Let me let AHLAZAR jump in. We just lost Brother Josh. Hopefully he calls back ASAP. But AHLAZAR, you can respond if you want to respond. Go ahead.
The brother he brings out a good point, because it's like, okay, Josh is saying, look, I believe this, I believe that the so-called Negroes are Israelites, but again, what proves that? You know what I'm saying? He's saying the curses, but really what we use to identify the different tribes aren't the curses. We use to identify Israel as a whole by the curses. But when we want to get intricately into all the tribes, it's not the curses that we would go into. It's, of course, Genesis the 49th chapter, Deuteronomy the 33rd chapter, and elsewhere in the Bible where it describes, these different tribes, how they operate, what's going to happen to them, things like that. For example, you go into Malachi 2. Malachi 2, the second chapter of the first few verses, is dealing with only the tribe of Levi. So that's a curse that you would use only the tribe of Levi. Who is a victim of that curse? Clearly, it's the so-called Haitian. Especially also the curse in 1 Samuel, the second chapter, the 31st verse. But we're not going to just use Deuteronomy the 28th chapter to try to tell you who each tribe is. We're going to tell you a generalization of who the nation is. Then we're going to get into the brass tack, get deep into the scriptures, and then identify each tribe by what the scriptures say would be the characteristics of the tribe. You see what I'm saying? But again, getting back to the brother's point, what would be, Josh, how would you prove that since you believe that the Negroes are Israelites, how would you prove that?
Josh is back.
Okay, can I respond? Okay,
yeah,
what I'm saying is I would use the curses and the color. See, y'all not listening to everything I say. I said I use the curses and the color, but the curses and the color are not only exclusive to Israel. And I want to show you something, too, because I'm going to show you what that word stranger. Do you remember how you said the word ger, stranger, only refers to foreign Hebrew Israelites? Do you still maintain that?
I do maintain that.
You do? Are you certain of that?
Yes.
Okay, now this is Deuteronomy 28 and 43. This is the curse. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Who's the stranger talking about right there?
Got me there.
Who's the stranger talking about right there?
I would have said it was talking about somebody who wasn't an Israelite.
Well, the word ger is used there.
All right, that's it. You got me there.
So that shows that the word ger doesn't exclusively mean a Hebrew stranger. So would you concede that you were wrong when you said that?
I would concede that I was wrong at that time. How many other points could you exhibit that to me, though?
All I need to show is one, because I can show more, but all I need to show is one, because you said the word ger always means a Hebrew stranger. You said always. You didn't say majority. You didn't say most. You said always. And if you go look that up, Deuteronomy 28 and 43, that word stranger. So it's the context, bro, not the Hebrew word. So you were wrong, and you need to admit you were wrong and humble yourself and say that I stand corrected.
I can humble myself and say that, but can you humble yourself and say that you lied on the scriptures when you were referring to your lesson on Job being an Edomite?
We got to get to more of these callers here, guys. Once again, there's a lot of people here, so let's get to the people right now. Let's go to the next person, 562-861. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I got basically a question and comment. This is Brother James from Los Angeles, a.k.a. Gabar. My question is, hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, happy Sabbath to all my brothers and sisters out there also. My question is to Brother Josh. You know, I normally listen to Brother Josh from time to time and the other brother. Now, my question, Brother Josh, I disagree with you on, far as you're saying two different things, what I'm hearing from you. You're saying, yes, the Israelites, the black Israelites in America are, you know, we're Israelites, but not all of us. You're saying because we're not just going with the curses in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Also, what our forefather told us, Jacob, where he said what's going to befall each and every one of these children in the latter days. You didn't address that. That's going to prove that who the Israelites are today.
I will address that. I will address that.
Okay, so that it's not only the curses. I know the curse in Deuteronomy chapter 28 is for the whole nation. Okay, but and also Jacob broke down what's going to befall each and every last one of his sons.
Can I read?
No, hold on, brother. Hold on. You can get a chance. Let me finish. And they're going to befall each and every one of their sons. And then I just want to switch over to the other brother, and then I'm going to get off the line, and you can address it, because I'm not going to debate with you, okay? Because to me it's irrelevant. Now, as far as the strangers part, because I don't get caught up in this hate debate for it's like the white man is this and who is this and that. The Most High going to separate the tares from the wheat. Our job is just to drop his word, it's commandments. In Isaiah chapter 56, this to the other brother, 56 in verse 3. You got your sword with you, right, Art?
Yeah, I got it.
Can you read Isaiah 56 and 3?
Hold on 1 second. Let me get there. All right, Isaiah 56, starting at verse 3.
Yes.
And then
jump to 6.
Neither let the son of a stranger that hath joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree.
Now go to number 6.
Okay, and also the son of the stranger that joined himself to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant.
Now, I asked you to go there for a reason. This goes to show if anybody obey the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, he said he's going to give them a better name. So the whole argument about who is who is irrelevant, man. It's irrelevant. The Most High say, my sheep hear my voice. So the people that going to obey this law and statutes, commandments, as Isaiah 56 stated, they taking part of the covenant, regardless of who they are. And so to me, man, it's irrelevant. So, hey, Brother Josh, address that question I gave you. And Brother AHLAZAR, I believe that's your name. What's your take on what you just read? And I'm just going to be on idle from this point on. Thank you, the brother that's hosting the show.
Yeah, I appreciate your call, brother. All right, AHLAZAR, I'm going to let you reply. Then Brother Josh, I'm going to let you reply after. Go ahead, AHLAZAR.
Again, the whole thing with the strangers, again, I'm going to go, I believe, I'd have to look, but I believe the word gar appears there in Isaiah the 56th chapter. Again, I got a whole lesson, 2-hour lesson on the strangers, which I'll address. People always want to bring up the strangers, but the fact of the matter, I got a whole lesson on it. So tune in, ask your questions in. We're going to go all the way in depth. We're going to go into Hebrew, we're going to go into Greek, and we're going to go all over the scriptures.
All right, Brother Josh.
Okay, and for the caller that asked me about the tribe breakdown, I already said in my portion that the breakdown of Genesis 49 that the Hebrew Israelites give is speculative and based on ignorant stereotypes. Let me just deal with Judah. Look what it says about Judah. It said, Judah, thou art he whom thy brother shall praise. And AHLAZAR used Tupac and Biggie as an example of this. Not his only example, but an example. Judah was praised in the scriptures because he was the kingly tribe. It ain't got nothing to do with what these brothers are talking about. Look what it says right here. Thy hand shall be in the neck or on the neck of thine enemies, because they were a warrior tribe. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee, because he's going to be the kingly tribe. So the king is going to be, bowed down to. Judah is the lion's whelp, which means a cub. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The Messiah comes from the tribe of Judah, and he's called the lion of the tribe of Judah. It's getting messianic. It has nothing to do with any interpretation these folks are doing. That's why when you read the next part that he didn't read, verse 10, the scepter shall not depart from Judah. That scepter is that little rod that a king holds, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. The rulership ain't going to depart from Judah until Shiloh comes, the Messiah, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. This is a messianic prophecy concerning Judah as a warrior tribe and the Messiah coming out of them. It has nothing to do with no Biggie Small or no Tupac or any of these other ridiculous stereotypes that they come up with. That's my answer to that. But also, AHLAZAR, you said you don't know what the word strangers used there. In Isaiah 56, the word stranger that is used there is not Gapar. It is Nekar, and it means, and it's 52:36, and it means foreign or concretely a foreigner or heathenism. So if you're going to maintain that Gerar means Hebrew stranger, then you're in trouble when you get Isaiah 56, because that's not the same word there.
You can reply, AHLAZAR. Then we got to move on to the next person.
As far as Josh, just so you know, I did read verse 10 in Genesis 49.
You said you read verse 10 in Genesis 49?
Yeah, I did.
Well, I didn't hear that. I don't remember you expounding on who Shiloh was and a lawgiver and to him being the gathering of people.
I didn't expound on who Shiloh was, because it wasn't pertinent to the breakdown on the whole tribe, I'm sure. Well, I don't know. I assume that people are pretty much familiar with who Shiloh's talking about. I was just kind of getting into the tribe as opposed, who the tribe can be identified today as opposed to the messianic prophecy.
Oh, okay. I mean, my mistake. I thought when I was breaking it down, I meant the context of it is that it's a messianic prophecy, talking about Judah being the kingly tribe and the other part of it.
Okay.
But if Judah, oh, no, we can move on.
All right, cool. Yeah, once again, the number is 877-280-9681. We've got a lot of questions here. Let's go to the people. Let's see what they got to say. Let's go to the next person. 478-213. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments?
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to get straight to the point. I don't want to waste no time. I know you got a lot of people, listening. I know it's a lot of anticipation for this debate. But I think a problem is nobody is the callers aren't understanding the argument that Brother Josh is trying to bring. They say, "Oh, keep contradicting." You say you could prove it with Judah, but then you saying that we can't identify it. You have to listen. There's a whole side. You have to investigate what's called critical thinking. You got to think about everything. When we read in the law, it tells us that Israel, by blood, weren't the only nation that entered into the covenant, because you can read in Deuteronomy chapter 29, it talks about the stranger, and so on and so forth. And that's the point, that those curses fell. And when you do history and you read into it, that, a lot of the curses fell on people who were not blood-born Israelites. By the time of the Messiah, there were other nations living amongst Israel known as Jews, called Jews, but there were other nations of people. And this is history. However, but my thing was like, all right, I believe, I don't know which debate it was, but I know for a fact that you said you cannot, without a shadow of a doubt, just prove it that you're an Israelite, and Israel is scattered all over the world. How are you going to use racial stereotypes towards people to justify who they are? Like that's and I want to hold on to hear his answer, because like I want to know how they're going to use racial stereotypes. Like they're making assumptions based on what people say about somebody. Or talk about how a certain group of people may act or something they might be involved with. Because I can say the same thing about, some people who are involved in witchcraft and voodoo or something. So the Haitians are heavily involved in that. Well, I can say there are people in America, black people in America, who are heavily involved in that as well. I want to hear.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
I just asked you a question, bro.
What? And I'm going to answer your question with a question which apparently people have a problem with. What percentage of Haitians partake in voodoo?
I have no idea. I don't know.
It's about 85%. Now, what percentage of black people in America partake in voodoo?
I have no idea.
So you're going to have to go back to the drawing board, because it's much lower. You're going to have to try to come with a better question for that.
But it doesn't matter. There are black people in America who participate. There are black people in America who participate in voodoo.
Okay, but what
there are black people
in Haiti?
One at a time, brother.
You use it. No. I got to address this. I got to address this.
Yeah.
Hello. I got to address this. No, because, you can't. Now you're basing it off percentages. Oh, well, there are more people in this very small. It may be 85% of people in Haiti doing voodoo. Cool. There may be 2% of black people in America doing voodoo. At the same time, there are a whole lot more black people in America than there are in Haiti. So it may be more black people in America doing voodoo than there are in Haiti. You can't just use some percentage just because some people's geographic location. Absolutely makes no sense. But I'll let you finish, and I got one question, and I'll let it go.
All right, we got a lot of questions here, brother. So AHLAZAR, you got
Now, do you know the population of Haiti and the population of the United States of America? And the population of black people in the United States of America, I mean. Do you know that?
Yeah, I believe he's yeah, you there?
I believe.
Yeah.
What's the percentage? Do you know?
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, 85% of people that live in Haiti that do voodoo, I guarantee you, is going to outweigh 2% of black people that do voodoo in America. That's ridiculous. And here's the thing about everybody that's calling in. They want to. It is. How is that not ridiculous?
Because Haiti is a small island, bro.
Okay, and
Haiti
how
is
many
small.
people?
It's probably more people. It's probably more black people. It's probably more black people. It's probably
one at a time, fellas. I need you to go one at a time. All right, let's do this again. Go ahead.
No. What I was saying was, I'm saying the reason I'm saying it is because Haiti is a very small island. This is hilarious to me. Haiti is a very small island. Like, there may be more black people in New York City alone, just the city, than there are on the entire little island of Haiti. Period. And they're going to say, how can 85%? But I'm just talking about New York City. There may be more black people. Like you know how small Haiti is? You know what I'm saying? You're using generalizations and stereotypes. We don't know. There are black people sinning all over. And which goes back to the point with Brother Josh, and I'm going to let it go, so I ain't going to get to my next question. But, like, you're using these racial stereotypes, but it all goes back to the point. You have to show me where God said, I'm going to separate y'all, and y'all going to get scattered by tribe, and you have to show that. And I really want to see this because every example I've actually seen people of other nations counted in Israel in tribes, and they weren't even Israelites. They were counted as Israel from other tribes. But I'll yield them, Mike. I'll let them go.
You saw that?
Yeah, go ahead, Elazar. You can reply. Then I'm going to let Brother Josh jump in.
Again, this is ridiculous. This is show how much this man doesn't know just about general knowledge. He's saying that there's more black people in New York City than there is in Haiti. Haiti's population is larger than that of New York City. This is ridiculous. You can't deal with these people who are unlearned but soon to be just present themselves to be like they're just on some type of level. Talking about we're basing our breakdown on stereotypes. I don't give a damn if a stereotype is a historical fact or a fact in general. Sometimes stereotypes are facts. So if it's a fact, it's not just a stereotype. It's a fact. It's a fact that Haitians are, or just as an example of one of the tribes, are synonymous with voodoo, are synonymous with all the things that the scripture said that the Levites are synonymous with. So am I wrong for putting that all together? No, I'm not. All right. Again, this is ridiculous. You can't prove to me that the Levites are not the so-called Haitians, and that's the thing, as well as any of the other tribes. These people are ridiculous. And if you just listen to the numbers that this man spewed out, that was ridiculous. But go ahead.
All right. All right, Brother Josh. You hear me, Josh? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still alive.
Oh, yeah. You can reply,
okay.
bro.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The Bible speaks of witchcraft. It calls it witchcraft. It calls it divination. I believe that if God wanted to put in prophecy that Levi would fall into witchcraft, he would just said it. It ain't gonna use all this roundabout way. When the children of Israel were dealing with witchcraft, it plainly told you in Scripture. You did not have to read it into it. Haiti dealing with voodoo does not prove that it's Levi. And then the brother just said, "Prove to me that he's not Levi." Brother, we can't prove a negative. If I came to you right now and I asked you to, can you prove that you are AHLAZAR, and you said to me, "Can you prove I'm not?" What type of answer would that be? That doesn't make sense. We operate in the affirmative, not in the negative. When somebody asks you who you are, you don't say, "Well, I'm not Brother Josh, I'm not Sal, I'm not Sally." You tell people who you are, and by telling people who you are, they determine who you are not. The burden of proof is on you, bro, and so far, the brother is right. You've given nothing but stereotypes and ignorant stereotypes to justify the 12 tribes, bro, and we ain't falling for that. We just ain't going for that. You just got to accept that. But that's all I got to say.
All right, we got to get to the people. We got a lot of questions here, so let's get to the people. All right, once again, you guys know the number, 877-280-9681. I'm going to try to get to as much people as possible with your questions and your comments. Again, make sure you state your name, where you're from, and go on with your question or your comment. And those of you that already asked your questions, do me a favor, press the number 1. Again, that'll take you off the queue. All right, so if you already asked a question, press the number 1 for me. Thanks a lot. Let's go to the next person. 661-380. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments?
Shalom, brothers. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing, my brother?
My name is Yaquab. I'm from Houston. I had a few questions. I'm going to keep them brief. Dealing with the brother who supports the 12 tribe chart, and I remember you made a statement earlier saying that pretty much the way you can tell an Israelite is through his father's genes, correct?
Yeah, that will determine if you were Israelite, your father's genes, yes.
Okay. So are you not trying to be persnickety or anything, but are you well versed in the law?
I'm familiar with the law. We can say I'm familiar with the law.
I just want to read real quick Deuteronomy 23:2. You brothers some time to get there. And it says that a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Now, when you go to the word bastard, it's Hebrew word 4464, mamzer, and it means a mongrel that is born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother, bastard. So now, with that being said, can one be still considered an Israelite if they're of mixed Hebraic and heathen parentage? When the scripture says that these people are not to be counted amongst the number of Israel?
Yeah, that's a great question, and the answer is yes. Now, are you familiar with King David?
I am.
Now, was he not the greatest king in Hebrew Israelite history?
Yes, sir. According to his valor, yes.
Now, doesn't he have the lineage of a heathen?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen any heathens in his lineage. As far as I've seen Israelite parentage.
As far as a woman, because it says a Jewish father and a foreign mother. Now, again, is there any heathens as far as the matriarchal ancestry, so to speak?
It's debate going on right now about the lineage of Ruth, but I haven't come to a
you know what?
I haven't come to a conclusion.
That's good. You got your sword. Go to Judges, the 11th chapter for me.
Okay.
And once again, the number is 877-280-9681. I'm going to get to you guys' questions in a few. There's a lot of people asking questions, but I'm going to go down the line in order, guys. So I'm going to get to you guys in a few. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, now start at the top of Judges 11 for me.
Okay. Judges 11:1. Now, Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of a harlot, and Gilead begat Jephthah.
Keep reading.
And Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah, and said unto him, Thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art of a strange woman.
Now, they had the same type of outlook. I don't know if you have this outlook, but I know a lot of brothers is running around right now, and they're having this outlook. If you have a heathen mother, you just aren't an Israelite. Now, keep reading.
Verse 3. Then Jephthah fled from his brethren and dwelt in the land of Tob, and there were gathered vain men to Jephthah and went out with him. And it came to pass in the process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel.
Okay, keep reading.
Verse 4. And it came to in process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel.
Okay, keep reading.
Verse 5. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said unto Jephthah, Come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon.
Keep going.
And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, Do ye not hate me, and expel me out of my father's house? And why are ye come unto me now when ye are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, Therefore we turn again to thee now, that thou mayest go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead.
So you see what happens when you have Israelites that want to thrust out another Israelite when he has a so-called when he has a heathen mother, they have to go to him to be used as a deliverer for them out of that situation. When you finish the rest of that chapter there in Judges 11 as well as 12, and really that definition is a distortion. Every single time you read a definition in one certain dictionary, it's not always as accurate. That's why you have to cross-reference and you have to do your meticulous research. It said a Mongol. Now, every person who had a father of one race and a mother of another race does not come out of Mongol. A Mongol is someone who has Down syndrome. When you actually find out who the Mamzers are, those are the products of incest, the products of people like the Moabites and the Ammonites, the curses that were put upon them when you go back to Genesis and the story of Lot, how his daughters had their father drunk. People will go there, people try to dance around things, but ultimately the brass tacks of the scriptures is that's just not true, and Judges 11 is a prime example of that.
All right, Brother Josh, you can jump in, and then we got to move on to the next person. If you want to jump in, or move on?
I want to move on. They took a lot of time on that, and I'm not really particularly interested in that, so we can move on.
All right, yeah, we'll still go to the next person. 347-276. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments? 347-276.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, brother. What's going on, man?
Brother Raheem Ali. How you doing, Brother Sal?
Hey, what's up, my brother?
All right, okay. Peace to Josh and AHLAZAR.
What's going on, Raheem?
Tonight, I have to go with Josh, what he said. I understand what AHLAZAR is saying, but like your chart, I'm going to deal with the Seminole Indians, supposed to be Reuben. Am I correct?
Yeah, you are correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to deal with that because I don't want to go through all 12 tribes. We're going to deal with that. Now, the Seminoles were basically different nations of native people that came together when the Europeans came here to try to enslave them and went against them. That's when they became Seminoles. They didn't come on a slave ship. Those people, those native people.
We didn't say they came on a slave ship, brother.
Say that again?
We didn't say they came on a slave ship, brother.
I'm saying that. I'm saying it to rectify everything.
Okay.
Just hear me out. They were already here. And have you ever heard of someone called Haladamiko?
No, I have not.
Okay, he was a Seminole chief, Sanofi Tustaniki. Have you heard of him?
No, I have not.
Okay, let me read to you who he was. Sanofi Tustaniki, also known as Abraham, was a Maroon, or a Moor Muslim amongst the Seminoles. He was their chief legal counsel and interpreter. It was he that was at Fort Negro in 1816 flying the flag of the Moors of West Africa and the Americas. This was the famous cherry tree that was chopped down, meaning that was the one that George Washington said, and I can't lie, I chopped down a cherry tree. That's the one that they talk about. And you can get this at the report of Colonel Clinch. He said this, of the destruction of Fort Negro on the Appalachian, July 29, 1816, Washington War Records Office, National Archives. Why I say this is because if you said the Seminole supposed to represent Reuben, and this is saying he was a Muslim or more, then something is not right with that chart, as Josh said. Josh is right about the stranger from the Hebrew, from the Bible, International Standard Bible, and Josh got a Smith Bible dictionary, which I have also. It also talks about a stranger being outside of Israel. Now, based on that knowledge right there, and I can go on, you would have to prove that the Seminoles definitely, from your point of view, from that Bible, and what you're saying, are people of that chart. And what I'm saying, history don't say that. You get what I'm saying? And one thing, Kabar Yala from Los Angeles, he's definitely wrong. And he said something that was totally off about what Josh said. It was totally off. And public announcement, I'll debate him because he said that Muhammad's not in the Bible, and I can show it to him in Hebrew. And Sal can put that down right now. But please explain that to me, Brother AHLAZAR, how to. This is history, and you can find it. I gave you the information. And great debate, and that's all I have to say. Peace.
I appreciate your call, brother. And AHLAZAR, you can reply.
As far as history, I mean, I don't understand how anything, even if there was a Moorish man over in as a chief in the Seminole tribe, I don't understand how that would affect the 12 tribe chart at all. But as far as history, you could just go to the book called Lost Tribes of Promised Lands, where it talks about some of the original European explorers that came here to the Americas and how they told you that they were of the tribe of Reuben and that how that the tribe of Joseph was dwelling nearby. So if we want to do with history, we could do with history. You know what I'm saying? And there's other historical facts substantiating that. But, I mean, you know, that was kind of long and drawn out, and I don't understand how that affected or tried to discredit what I was saying at all. But, I mean, that's all I got to really say about that.
All right, Brother Josh, you can reply.
Even though I don't agree with the last thing you said about Muhammad being in the Bible, if you do the research on the Seminoles, Raheem is absolutely correct. The Seminoles were not made up of one group of Native Americans. They were a group of several Native Americans that took refuge with each other after the Yamasee War in South Carolina. So if you're going to say the Seminole tribe is Reuben, then you can't take a different bunch of Native Americans who came together and became Seminole and say they're Reuben, because they're not all even from original tribe. They all from over the place, and they formed the Seminole. That would be like me coming from the tribe of Judah and somebody else come from the tribe of Levi and somebody come from the tribe of Benjamin.
Oh, yeah, it's called this draft once again. Wow. Josh, make sure you call back, man. Press the number 1. The number is 877-280-9681. I'm going to take maybe 2 more callers because we already actually passed the 35-minute mark. I'm going to take 2 more callers. I see we have about 8 minutes on the air on the internet. So what you guys going to have to do, for those of you that's listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com, we have 8 minutes left online. If you want to hear the rest of the show, you got to dial the alternative number, which is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. If you want to hear the rest of the show, because we're going to continue, and we got to go to the final statements. If you want to hear the rest of the show, make sure you dial that number. Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. Let's go to the next caller. Let's see. 315-414. You're live on Debate Talk for you. You have any questions or comments?
Yeah. Shalom to Brother Sal, Brother Josh, and Brother AHLAZAR. This is D. Trey from Syracuse. Just got a couple quick questions for Brother AHLAZAR. Did you say you was from the tribe of Judah?
I'm from the tribe of Levi.
Levi. Okay, so my question is, can you prove that 100% that you're from the tribe of Levi?
Through the Spirit.
What about
I can't give you any spirit. I can't give you any actual documentation that stamps that says AHLAZAR from the tribe of Levi. No, I cannot.
Okay, so can you prove that let's say for an example, the tribe of Judah, the Negroes, can you prove that 51% of so-called African Americans or Negroes are from the tribe of Judah through the flesh?
Again, I can't present any documentation that says anything other than I'm a so-called Haitian, according to this system and how it classifies nations.
All right, so my question is, and I'm going to let y'all go, if you can't prove that 51% of so-called African Americans in the world today is from the tribe of Judah, doesn't that make the 12 tribes chart invalid?
No, because I can prove it with the Bible. I can't prove it with any. Again, I can't prove it. I don't have a birth certificate or a social security card or identification card that says it, but with the Bible we could do that. So it just all goes back to what you esteem as higher, the Bible, God's Word, or man's inventions.
All right, Brother Josh, you want to reply before we go on to the next person?
Yes, I want to definitely reply to this one. First of all, this is where the crap really hits the fan, because they use stereotypes, and he said characteristics. In other words, black people act a certain way, so they're Judah. But this brother forgot one scientific fact. You got something called nature versus nurture. So if a black person who was not a Negro lived among some Negroes and they start acting like the characteristics because of nurture, being around them, then AHLAZAR would say, oh, you're from the tribe of Judah, and be completely wrong. Did the Spirit lie to him? The Spirit does not reveal who Israel is. That's not what the Spirit does. The Spirit reveals who is a servant of the Most High. That's what the Spirit does. Characteristics do not tell you who you are. They're like me saying, I'm from the tribe of Judah because I like to fight. Or AHLAZAR is a Haitian because he likes voodoo. Or he comes from a voodoo family. What about the people down in New Orleans? They're in America. They deep in the voodoo. I mean, they more deep in the voodoo in some cases than the Haitians are. They call it hoodoo and all that stuff. Would we say that they're from Levite? I mean, you cannot use characteristics to determine heredity. That's foolishness. That's that old stereotype that white people used to do to black people when we were first coming up on the slave trip. Oh, he act like this. He's from this tribe or whatever. Come on, y'all. Let's be serious. Let's move on.
All right, cool. Let's move on. We got to take one more caller, guys. I apologize. I know there's a lot of people I couldn't get to, but, you know, we've got to wrap this pretty much up. We're winding down to the last few minutes of the show. So let's take one more caller, and then we're going to move on to the final statements. Let's see. 716-204. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments?
Yeah, brother. How you doing? This is Brother Timothy from Buffalo, New York.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, yeah. I just tuned in maybe about 15, 20 minutes ago. Hold on one second. And from my understanding, with the 12 tribes chart, it's absolutely false. I can prove that by 2 or 3 different ways. One is with the 12 tribes chart, Leah, she had 6 sons, and one of the sons was Issachar, which they say is a Mexican, and then you got Judah, which is a so-called Negro, and Mexicans don't look nothing like Negroes. So to me, that wouldn't really make sense. If I had like 6 sons, and one of my sons is supposed to be this, and then my other son is that, the Mexicans don't look like Negroes to me. So that's number one thing. Number 2 thing is a lot of people don't know with the 10 tribes, when they went to captivity by the Assyrians, they went after they got free by the Assyrians. They went to the places where Paul sent letters to. They didn't go to North America, South America, and Central America. They went to Galatia. They went to Cappadocia. They went to Ephesians, Ephesus, those different places that Paul he wrote letters to. They didn't go to North America, South America, or Central America. So I agree more with what Brother Josh is saying about the 12 tribes. I believe that they are all of Negro descent. I don't believe that they are Latinos or Mexicans or Seminole or Native Americans. So that's my take on it.
Thanks for your call, brother. And for those of you, once again, that's online at www.blogtalkradio.com/debatetalkforyou. There's only 2 minutes left on the internet that you can hear the show, but if you want to hear the rest of the show, make sure you call in with the alternative number, which is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. I'm going to let my special guest reply, then we're going to go on to the final statements. All right, AHLAZAR, you can reply.
All right, these dudes, I've been seeing these dudes all over the internet. It's honestly laughable. You mean to tell me that your primary evidence to disprove the 12 tribes sign is because Judah is because black people and Mexicans don't look the same? Well, first off, the scriptures say to judge not by outward appearance. The scriptures also speak about the northern kingdom mixing and mingling themselves with the people and becoming a cake not turned, meaning some are light-skinned, some are dark-skinned. When you go to my channel, Sakari1715, I just did a lesson on this. These people are ridiculous, and their theories are easily refutable. I use carnal examples, which anybody could probably easily understand, I would hope, disproving all of that, but that's ridiculous. Josh and everybody else who's been calling in has provided evidence that was much more substantial to trying to disprove what we claim about the 12 tribes chart than physical and outward appearance. Moreover, that whole thing about the northern kingdom went into where Paul sent the letters to, again, that's a theory that it has little evidence to support. But I just want to touch on something that Josh had said in his last response. I didn't say anything about the way black people act describes them as Judah. rewind the tape all you want. I said nothing about the way they act. I'm talking about who they are, who they can't get rid of, the fact that they are who their brethren praise, the fact that they are the top trendsetters in the world right now. That's what I was referring to. And also as far as the black people down there in Louisiana doing voodoo, if you understand history, they were taken from the same place in Africa that the Haitians were, so they are actually Levites. But other than that's all I got to say about that, though.
Okay, man. And, like the brother was saying, there is no real hardcore proof about this 12-tribe chart. For instance, even during the time of Jesus Christ, shortly after. This is James.
It's called This Dropped. Wow. Okay, hopefully you can call back in. Once again, it's live on Debate Talk for you. The number is 877-280-9681. Or matter of fact, 646-716-7320. Hopefully we can get the brother back in so we can get the final statement right now. All right. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this debate. They're standing by right now, waiting for Brother Josh to call back in. Hold on for a second, guys. Give me a minute. Stand by. All right, guys, we're back. Live on Debate Talk for you. I got a message from Josh, being that we're in the overtime part of the show right now, and the call dropped. We're unable to get his reply, his final statement. So I guess what we're going to have to do is, to be fair, I guess we could pretty much wrap it up, and maybe we can do another segment on, or maybe the discussion or something like that, a brief discussion, so we could get some more, as far as the final statement. But I'm going to let my brother AHLAZAR give us information out there to the people out there that want to probably reach out to the brother and stuff like that. And once again, brother, I appreciate you once again coming on the show. And, I know I'm going to have you again Tuesday, to do your lesson and stuff like that. So let's give the people some information so that they can reach out to you, my brother.
First and foremost, I just want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, and double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and honor to all the brothers out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. The Spirit's really working. All this knowledge, it comes from first, and foremost, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So I just want to, give my just due and my honors and praises and glory to the, the Most High in the name of His Son. As far as my links, we got Exodus 1715.info right now. That's Exodus spelled how it's supposed to be spelled. Our YouTube is Exodus 1715, no E in the beginning, just EXODUS. So check us out. That's our YouTube for our streets teachings. For our more in-depth lessons, you can go to Sakari Sit-Downs or Sakari 1715, as well as Hellip in Haiti and Sakari Cinema. Sakari is spelled Sicarii. So, just check us out on there. We got a couple lessons coming up in this next couple weeks consecutively, which I'm sure Sal is going to make all of you guys aware. I'd just like to thank Sal for having me. Shouts out to Josh, for having the debate, another good debate. As far as opponents, I'll definitely say that he's definitely, as far as who I know as people out there, definitely the most formidable opponent for me to face. So, just shout out to Josh. That's pretty much it.